August and September, and his own rotation started to pick up a little bit once everyone's healthy.
He's been effective in his career against the Texas Rangers. He starts tonight in Game 1.
Geno is back. The Mariners back in town. Game 1. Adolis Sports is next.
What's going on, everybody? John here with you. It's time for some baseball. It's been a while since we did this, but it's trade deadline has passed Thursday, July 31st, 2025. Again, we're going to profile all that, but we do got a baseball game in front of us. The final one of the night between the Texas Rangers and the Seattle Mariners, who start a big homestand at T-Mobile Park. First for the Rangers, it sounds like this. Their manager is Bruce Bochy. It'll be Josh Smith leading off, playing third base, Corey Seager at short, Marcus Semien bat third, will play second base, Adolis Garcia in right field bat cleanup. It'll be Evan Carter in center, Wyatt Langford in left, Joc Pederson will be the DH, and rounding out the lineup will be Rowdy Tellez, again the former Mariner as well, Blue Jay. He's on the Rangers now, first base batting left, and then Kyle Higashioka is going to round it out. He'll catch and bat right. Jonah Heim, Josh Young, Ezekiel Duran, and Sam Haggerty will be the backup pieces on the bench for Bruce Bochy's squad. And for the Mariners, they're also 57 and 52. These are two teams tied for the last wild card spot in the American League. Their bench boss is Dan Wilson. It's Randy Arozarena leading off, the former Tampa Bay Ray. The right-handed bat will be in left field. Cal Raleigh is going to move up in the order, the catcher, the switchback. Julio Rodriguez batting third, playing center field. Josh Naylor, who was acquired a couple of weeks ago before all the deadline madness, will be at first base batting left. Eugenio Suarez, Geno is going to return. Again, the Diamondbacks were off the previous day when they played the Tigers, so that allowed Geno to come over and play today. He's going to be fifth in the order, playing third base as he usually does. Jorge Polanco, the former Twin, the DH, is a switchback, bat six. Dom Canzone in right. J.P. Crawford in short, and Cole Young at second base, the trio of lefty bats, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Dom Canzone's got a 290 average for the Seattle Mariners. It's pretty good. 27-year-old's finally getting some starting time from being acquired from the Arizona Diamondbacks a couple of seasons ago. Starters today are going to be Kumar Rocker for the Texas Rangers, the former Vanderbilt product, 4-4, 5.73 ERA. And for the M's, it'll be George Kirby, 27-year-old, 5-5, 4.50. So two ERAs that would like to get bumped down a little bit. And as we go across throughout this broadcast, again, I'll give you the play-by-play and the game story per usual. But we'll spend some time talking about some of these deadlines. Eugenio Suarez got a huge eruption as he was introduced back on the field in his second go-around with Seattle, as they got their alternates on 36 bombs, his fifth most in Major League Baseball. And the first home run with Mariners on Monday for Josh Naylor in the A's. And he's got a couple of younger brothers around playing baseball as well, I believe, in between Pittsburgh and another team as well. So Naylor and Suarez, the two big bets that were put in the line here for the Mariners. And you talk about it last year for Randy Arozarena, they go for that as well. So Jorge Polanco from a couple of seasons ago, the Mariners have liked to add a little bit more of a retool as they've gone across to try to get enough to get into the postseason. It's a lot more than the Tigers did. Again, my hometown team that were going bargain hunt bin shopping. So when you get these big additions like Naylor and Suarez and you put them 4 or 5 in the lineup, that really changes things. So Kirby, his 12th start, again, 4.50 ERA, 25% strikeout rate. He's got a mix of a four-seam slide, sink, knuckle curve, split, and changeup in that six-pitch mix. But you kind of want to throw out the splitter and changeup if you are the Rangers, as we're going to get set to lead it off in T-Mobile Park. Again, my thoughts are with Cooper Hopkins on this trade deadline day, because even though I know he holds the Mariners near and dear to his heart, probably more so than anything else, even more so than the Flames, got to be pretty excited to get Geno back. First pitch was way outside of the fastball, but it was called a strike. And then a knuckle curve gets spiked in the dirt as Cal Raleigh to throw it back to George. 385 this season is Josh D. Smith. 1 home run and 3 RBI against the Mariners this season. He's slugging .415. Knuckle curve, that one split the plate right across the middle. Naylor's going to hustle over He will get that big right foot out there in time and tag to first base, and that'll leave it up to Corey Seager. Corey Seager yesterday struck out 4 times. It's not something you normally talk about with Corey Seager. Against Semien, who's had a little bit of a rough part of this going of the season, had 4 hits the other day. He had 6 hits and the last 2 times up against the Angels in the last 2 games. So his average is perked up past my notes. Corey Seager's has dropped below 270. First pitch against Corey, and a fastball to a cue shot down the third base line. We'll do it again at 96 miles an hour. So Seager, 15 bombs, 38 RBI. He's only played 75 games, so they need health for the 31-year-old. He's still very sure-handed at that shortstop position. Not a ton of speed, but his bat is one of the ones that you always carry with you to be able to do damage. If him and Semien and Seager ignite, then there you go. That kind of transforms the Rangers' offense into something that can get them back in the postseason after winning the World Series a couple of seasons ago. Waiting on the 1-1 pitch. Fastball very high and out of the zone. Again, we talked about it in the All-Star game as far as getting some of those pitches that can be through instant replay and change between balls and strikes. We haven't gotten that in Major League Baseball yet, but they've been testing that in the minor leagues as a slider. Will go way down toward the legs, and Corey Seager's got hitter's count advantage here at 3-1. Average exit velocity for Corey Seager at 93.5 miles an hour. Baseball's average is 88.9, so he does hit the ball hard. He doesn't have to think about it. It's a walk. So after striking out 4 times yesterday, gets a chance to get this first walk. And I'll leave it up to the middle of the order now in Marcus Semien, who's at second, 1 out, and then Adolis Garcia. So Randy, Julio, Dom Canzone is in the outfield, and that's kind of been that way. They've played the bulk of a lot of the games. They're only carrying 3 outfielders of the Mariners, so not a lot of depth there right now. Semien will take one and follow it straight back in amongst the screen. So Marcus Semien did get an RBI yesterday, and his 227 average with the 4 hits went up to 231. He's got 53 RBI now. Strikeout weight for George Kirby's at 25%. This one off the plate and will fall foul. Dom Canzone was trying to give it a look, but he had no chance to get there and make it 0-2 against Semien. Adolis Garcia will be next. George Kirby against the Rangers, my goodness, is sparkling 7-0, 1.15 ERA. So if you need it, you're getting it there from George. And it's not hard to see why he's 7-0. You got those type of numbers. It's hard to lose if you're Seattle. Let's see what they can do with the ultimate Trident's jerseys. Long look on the 0-2. Pitch clock down to 4 seconds, and the fastball can't be framed by Cal. We'll do it again at 1-2. So Marcus Semien has already been one of the big cornerstones. He's long into his tenure now. I think that was like an 8-year deal. He's 3 years into it already. And he's got a World Series to his name as this curveball is down in the dirt. Again, I'll get Ian in here, probably save my pipes a little bit. I'm going to give you this full play-by-play regardless. We will talk about some of the deadline stuff as well. This is the only other baseball game in the docket today. After the one with the Braves finish up, as it's 97 up high, it's a full count. So Seager walked, and Semien now, as it's driven to a full count, and trying to get George Kirby's pitch count up here. T-Mobile Park, John, I'm here with you alongside. It's been a while since we did a baseball game. I wanted to get into this and have some fun, talk some deadline stuff as well. Here's a full count pitch. Fastball was right across the middle of the plate. This was followed straight back. We'll do the full count pitch again. Ian, how are you doing?
Oh, John. When we get a chance, I want to hear your thoughts on your team, and then I'll give my thoughts on mine, and then we can go. Then we can go outward. That cool?
That sounds good to me, and that's going to work out right now. We'll go to the bottom of the first as Semien hits into a double play. Geno throws across the second, and we get a scoreless beginning of the first. At least for the top part, it'll be up to the Mariners now, 1, 2, 3. And you know what, Ian, I'll let you go first because I don't know how much I have to say, but you lead it off with the Royals. So it'll be Rosen.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So when the trading first started with Adam Frazier, I was not. I gotta be honest. Sorry.
You're good. Go ahead.
Sorry, if it's hard to. All right. So when the trading first started with the Adam Frazier acquisition, I, like many Royals fans, were not exactly, we were perplexed as going south. Trey Lugo, we were again perplexed, bordering on. Today, Piccolo put on a masterclass, getting 3 pitchers, all with control, with prospects outside of the top 30. Well, okay, and Freddie for me, but you know what? He's over 29 years old, pushing
Right.
30, and he got him 2 pitchers. And the only guy that cost the Royals a top 30 prospect was Mike Yastrzemski, which is par for the course because he's a corner outfield bat.
Sure, and he's got a little bit of pop in that and a lefty bat as well. And you guys said you did need some more run scoring as well, so I don't mind it. I like the moves that you've been talking about for the Royals. When we get some time, I will talk a little bit about the Tigers, although there won't be much to say. And this pitch inside to Randy Arozarena from Kumar Rocker, make it 2-0. Let's get into his arsenal really quick for Kumar. The former Vanderbilt legend is 4-4, 5.73 ERA, 144 WHIP, 43 runs, 21 walks, 53 strikeouts. As this pitch not even close. So a little bit wild to start the day, but a sinker, cutter, four-seam slide, curve, changeup. Tendency to split the sinker and slider and curveball down the middle. That's what I noted in my scouting report, according to Baseball Savant. So if you can get that leverage that Arozarena has now, as this one was in the zone, but he did not get the call after 3-0. That did catch the top right corner, but he missed in the first 3. So Arozarena is going to walk early here, and that'll leave it up to Cal Raleigh. He'll be moved up second in the order because of the Geno trade. But I was saying for those secondary pitches, if you get that count leverage, he has a tendency to throw them down the middle. And I do wonder if Kumar next year is going to get more of a consistent rotation spot, but he's got to throw strikes to start that. So Cal Raleigh, big swing, and this one way foul, but that had the distance as he was hitting 257. 0-1 is the count. So Cal Raleigh sitting on 87 RBI, 41 home runs. Again, Eugenio Suarez back in his second tour of duty with batting 5th. Another one is a fastball, laid waste straight back, make it 0-2. But for Cal, again, 41 bombs. For Geno, 36. You had Josh Naylor from a few weeks ago. So you add about 90 home runs to this lineup. Some big additions for the Mariners. Don't know if they're going to catch back up with the Houston Astros, let alone get in the playoffs. But when you had that thump right in the middle of the order, that's what put Cal at 2 today. It's got an 0-2 count against them after Arozarena had walked. Knuckle curve way outside the zone, make it 1-2. Julio Rodriguez gets the bat third today, and then Josh Naylor at 4, as there's a runner on first with the walk with no outs. Hard hit rate for Kumar Rockers at 47%, so opposing teams do find barrel to the baseball. And this is a cue shot. This should be an easy double play. Toss back over here from Seager, but Cal Raleigh actually able to beat it out a couple of half steps towards the bag. So Reddy Tellez couldn't get there in time off of the feed. And now it'll be Julio Rodriguez with Cal at first. They'll just exchange the runners, so Arozarena is out. Cooper, I am going to bring you in here just in case you are listening or not. You can co-host Ian. I will bring him back in here at some point as well when he gets a chance to not be so busy because it was cutting in and out. Julio Rodriguez up top. This one will be a ball. Again, Cal Raleigh is the runner at first after Rosarena had walked and been tossed out. Double play was not turned. This Kumar Rocker now trying to get into his 10th pitch of his day. 360 is the average for Julio against Texas. This is a 4-game series. Inside pitch. Rocker gets the friendly call. Makes it 1-1. And when we get a little bit of a stoppage here, I will immediately ask Cooper what his thoughts are for Geno and Josh Naylor. Those are some huge additions into this lineup. 245 in the month of July is Julio. 95, this one will be in center field. No problem for Evan Carter. Got a ton of speed. That's a good basket catch right there.
Hey, John, it's a pleasure to be with you here for a baseball game of all things. Normally we're on the ice, but today we get a little classic action on the grass of T-Mobile Park. I'm excited. This is a big night for all Mariners fans, and we see if the Seattle franchise can start to chip away at that 5-game deficit in the AL West and get themselves into a more solid playoff position other than that last wild card that they occupy.
I wasn't sure if I was wondering or whether or not it'd be fantasy land that I'd be able to get you on a broadcast, but it's the last one of the day. It's a unique one on the trade deadline, and there's some big moves made. So, I was kind of holding out some hope that something would happen. And then lo and behold, I had to adjust my lineups today before it even started, and I see Geno's face. Got to get excited for that. Josh Naylor, big swing and a miss. Make it 1-1 on the changeup.
Yeah, John, big night. When that lineup came out, the electricity was certainly felt. It rattled my bones. I know all the fans at T-Mobile Park are feeling good here. Let's see what Naylor can do with 2 down, 1-1 count.
This one will be spiked in toward the feet. That'll back out Josh Naylor again. As I mentioned at the very beginning of the broadcast, he does have 2 younger brothers in the system. One of them is in the Athletics, and then you got Bo Naylor for the Cleveland Guardians. Again, in that previous series before, his youngest brother was able to actually watch the older play, which is pretty cool there. A little bit of a long look now for Josh Naylor. He's set to dig back in. This head-to-head season series has been in favor of the Mariners. It's 7-2 right now, and the run scored per game has been pretty good. 5.33 for the M's, although of note, they do not do as much run scoring at T-Mobile as they do on the road. That's one thing they want to try to change. Another grand cut for Naylor to make it 2-2 on an inside pitch.
Yeah, John, Naylor in that cleanup position for a reason, but the Mariners now boast what could be argued is the most potent lineup in terms of power hitting in all of baseball. So you know that those fans are going to get excited. Naylor can keep this inning going as time is called, because coming up behind him is none other than Geno, and that is going to be quite a moment for Mariners fans everywhere.
Yes, it will. Maybe I'll just have you take that at bat as you can step back in for me here, because that's a big point. I will take another look. And maybe it took a little bit too long to throw here. Just want to get the clarifications here from the umpires. Again, good vibes only is the sign at T-Mobile Park. I actually kind of like that. That makes me feel pretty good. I kind of had that same feeling for the Tigers when they went through that massive free fall before they gave it to the Diamondbacks. So I don't mind that there. We're still waiting on the 2-2 with the runner at first. And Naylor swings and misses. That is a scoreless first. So you get a chance to take it over in the second if you choose to do so. It'll be George Kirby back on the mound.
Yeah, you got it, John. This is going to be a fun one, and it's a very important one for the Mariners. They start that 10-game homestand. Of course, I'm coming in here just a few minutes into the broadcast, so you probably covered a lot of this stuff. But zeros across the board for both teams. You get the commercial timeout, and it'll be another half inning of the Rangers at the plate, and then it'll be Geno leading off for Seattle. And yeah, John, I think that it goes without saying, but I can back it up with some interview comments that were made by Naylor and Geno. They, of course, enjoyed their time together in Arizona, which just wrapped up, for Geno about 24 hours ago, so maybe 48. And now Naylor has expressed his pleasure in having his Arizona teammate returning to play with him in Seattle. And Geno, the classic line, good vibes only. That's when he had the goggles on, champagne spraying in the Seattle Mariners locker room, which is not a familiar sight. If you follow the Mariners, you know that champagne spray is normally you don't have to put up the plastic, John. The lockers are going to be safe in Seattle, but the I'm sure that the Mariners have other ideas for that this year, and Geno and Naylor could be a big part of a playoff push for this squad.
Let me tell you something the other way. I don't want to step all over your toes because I want to split this call if you want to do it, if you want to join into all of it. But the Tigers and the Diamondbacks just played a series, and our best bullpen arm in Will Vest threw a 98-mile-an-hour fastball right at Geno's hand. And I'm thinking, oh, man, I'm just trying to trade for this guy, and then we'll see what ends up happening. And lo and behold, he goes back to Seattle.
Yeah, and I mean he was a major piece on the market, and it just feels right. Of course, my bias is showing here, but it feels right to see him back in a Mariners uniform. Obviously, he came up primarily with Cincinnati and was a power threat there in the National League. Came over to the Mariners and made a huge impact. It was a tough pill to swallow when he was dealt away. We're back here, John. If you want to keep going, Kirby's going to rock back and fire to Garcia a little high here for ball one as we start top of the second.
All right, so we can definitely still play on here. We can adjust however you want to at this point, but Adolis Garcia in the middle of the order, he's still a very ferocious power bat. Again, 14 home runs seems a little bit low with the 226 average, but when he's at his best, he can be about a 270 hitter and get you 30, 35 bombs and play a really good right field. Again, Texas has an outstanding outfield with tons of speed, as Adolis Garcia really hasn't had much to look at right now. It's 3-0.
Yeah, Kirby's command, I won't say shaky, but just a little bit outside the zone. He may be deliberately nibbling to the cleanup hitter for the Rangers. Let's see what he does at 3-0.
See if he gives him anything here in a 95, a little bit in toward the hands, will make it 3-1. Again, for Garcia, has played in 103 games, so he's had his health. 109 strikeouts, not a ton. Still 23 walks, 60 RBI, but you definitely expect this bat to perk up for Bruce Bochy's squad if they want to get back into the playoffs. Big cut. He was late on a 96 up top, making full count.
Yeah, Kirby challenges him there and wins. So 3-2 the count now, and 26% strikeout rate, just about 5% higher than league average for Garcia. Let's see if Kirby can get the punch out.
He goes towards his fastball. Canzone will give it a look. He'll make a catch in the right corner, fading into the sun.
Canzone, nice grab there. Yeah, you called it right, John. A little bit of sun left there out in right field, and that was warning track power. I think if Garcia would have gotten a little more of that, we might have potentially seen Canzone have to make a big catch at the wall, but that's one away here and a relatively routine play. Kirby is doing pretty nicely here as we move in deeper into the second.
Cooper, I was going to say, in between Rosarena, Rodriguez, and Canzone, I saw that Seattle's essentially only carrying 3 outfielders, so that's what they got right now. They've been playing a bulk of games.
Yeah, and 1-0 is the first delivery to Evan Carter, who is up and away. And you're right, Dylan Moore is still on the squad, and he can play multiple positions. Interestingly, John, over in the other dugout, a couple former Mariners in Rowdy Tellez and Sam Haggerty. Haggerty would have been one of those utility players a couple seasons ago for the Ends.
And there's a bunch of guys that have mixed in between Seattle and Texas that know each other quite well as we're waiting on a 1-1. Again, George Kirby's only thrown his 24th pitch now as we got one out in the top of the second. We're gracious to have Cooper Hopkins join me for this one. Here's a big swing. It's going to drive Julio toward the warning track, but he's going to make the catch in center field.
Oh, by the way, fellas, I just wanted to note the other game going on, the Braves and the Reds, as aforementioned. I think it's funny to mention that in the 8th inning, both teams have scored 8 runs.
Ian, I was looking at that game before it started. It was 7-2 Braves.
Yeah, well, they scored 8 in the top 8, and the Reds have scored 8 so far in the 8th.
11-11 in bottom 8, so we'll keep you updated. Again, lots of offense. That is, if I'm looking correctly, gentlemen, 30 combined hits.
Just a casual 22 runs scored in a single game. It's a little bit of offense for you there on a Thursday evening.
God, it must be time to be a Braves fan. Oh, hey, look, we have an 11-3 good Phillies gone.
Yeah, again, you have some good players that come in and out of that organization. This has not been the type of season that they wanted, as Langford's pitch and Kirby will miss up and out of the zone. Wyatt Langford, again, it's hard to believe he is actually a year older than Evan Carter. He doesn't strike out a ton. He's got a lot of speed, and alongside with Carter, as they're waiting on the 2-1, Langford takes a huge swing on a fastball, making 2-2. George Kirby's fastball, Cooper, looks like it's got a little bit of pop today.
Yeah, he's starting to dial that thing up in the top third of the zone, and that's what he's going to have to do. Kirby's not afraid to go after pitchers. He's got that high 90s power in the fastball, and he's looking for the punch out here to get out of this inning facing the minimum.
Yeah, he doesn't want to let it go any farther to Joc Pederson on a 2-2. Didn't think about it on a knuckle curve, and will go to a full count, trying to get this done with an even 15 pitches per inning. Plus 60 run differential in July leads Major League Baseball. So as we push into summer, those bats heat up, and the Rangers certainly have. See what they can do here in a full count. Langford will cue shot it down the third base line, and we'll see another.
Yeah, John, this is nice for Kirby here, about 30 pitches as we are, hopefully, for the Mariners, nearing the end of the top of the second. So a full count here, Langford, a 242 hitter. Batting in that 6 hole. Another pitch coming from the Mariners starter momentarily.
That one was hung a little bit, but Julio Rodriguez got a ton of speed, just shy of the warning track, makes the catch. And Kirby gets through it again. That will leave it up to Geno when we come back.
Yes, indeed. This is the moment the Mariners fans were hoping for as an extension of the previous moment they were hoping for. They just wanted Jerry DePoto, Mariners general manager, to do something. He did with the Naylor trade, also making a little change in the bullpen as well, and having to give up some of the solid prospects that the Mariners have, one of the top farm systems in all of professional baseball. But the fan base in Seattle and Mariners fans everywhere pleased, and I would say, John, you can tell me what you think as an outsider. Not as big of a Flames fan as you are, but not our Mariners fan, as I should say, as you are a Flames fan, that just spending time with me. But I think that DePoto finally did what Mariners fans were begging for, and just made some big plays at the deadline to try to put his team in the best position and potentially get in the playoffs and make a run.
Can I say that? I'm going to say this honestly to you, Cooper. You tell me if I'm right or wrong or on the right track or whatnot, but I look over the last couple of years, Jorge Polanco trying to be an everyday second baseman, Randy Arozarena, Josh Naylor, and now Geno Suarez. Those are not small moves.
No, certainly not. And the timing is the most important there. I think the deadline strategy, John, was usually to lean conservative. And this year that was absolutely not the case. Really going for two of the biggest names out there. And the Mariners lineup is going to be feared for the rest of the season. Hopefully takes them into postseason play.
Yeah, we talk. Go ahead, Ian.
I was going to say, Mariners fans are happy. I, as a Royals fan, am happy. You want to know who's not happy in the AL on a team that bought? The Red Sox. We can get into that later, but Red Sox fans are currently planning the second Boston team.
Oh, geez. I hope, Ian, if you're saying it like that, I'm already thinking about those names like Sale and Mookie Betts. A standing ovation here for Geno.
Yeah, John, if you don't mind, can I be
Go ahead.
Here? Can I take this Geno at bat? That's his first one back as a Seattle Mariner. So Rocker kicks that knee, fires in, and that is a 92-mile-per-hour two-seam fastball right down Broadway that Suarez takes a look at for strike one. So this season, Suarez batting .248, 36 home runs, 87 runs batted in, just a power threat at all times. There's a 96-mile-per-hour four-seamer. Suarez gets under and sends it just behind the Mariners' dugout. So quickly, no balls and 2 strikes to the returning champion, Geno Suarez.
Yeah, and those are 2 pitches, not in good locations there for Kumar. I don't think he's going to get away with that too much longer.
Yeah, Geno really smart at the plate, also has that defense. And he's going to stand back in here upright in the batter's box, batting from the right side. 19th pitch for Rocker, the 0-2, just a little inside on the breaking pitch. Good eye by Geno, and it's 1-2.
Anytime you're on that same list with Schwartz, Ohtani, Judge, and Cal as teammate, you're doing pretty well at the plate.
Yep, still unreal that Cal Raleigh leading with 41 home runs. He and Suarez now teammates again, and there is a swing and a miss as the bottom falls out on the changeup. So Geno is now 0 for 1 tonight, but the fans will be looking forward to his next at bat already. 1 down.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that. Go ahead, Ian.
So to reiterate, the biggest reason being So it all started when an account tweeted out that Joe Ryan was being traded to the Red Sox. Turns out that was wrong. So the Red Sox said, "Hey guys, we didn't get Joe Ryan, but we did get Dustin May. All we had to do was trade away Tibbs, one of our better prospects, to get him. And I'm pretty sure Dustin May was with, you guessed it, the Dodgers."
Dustin May is one of those guys, Ian, that throws very hard, but he's not particularly healthy all the time. And that wouldn't necessarily make me happy, considering when you're thinking about Joe Ryan, he would have been awesome in a Red Sox uniform. And that's kind of a troll job as we're waiting on the 0-2. Cooper, if you want to take the inning, you can.
Sure, I'll jump in there as Polanco with 252 batting average, sitting now at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Good eye on a breaking pitch that hits dirt, just short of the plate. He looked at a couple strikes prior to that delivery. Nothing here in the bottom of the second. Still early going in Seattle. Rangers at the Mariners. Rocker very efficient so far. The right-hander deals, and the 92-mile-per-hour two-seamer fades away, and Polanco gets a piece, fouls it out of play. So the count stays 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I think you would take 252, 16 bombs, 48 RBI, now 50 in the last couple of games, but Jorge's had a pretty good year so far.
No question about it. Mariners would love a hit right here. They don't have one yet, and the 1-2 pitch just a little bit inside at 97. So the count even here. 2s everywhere. Second inning, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Polanco, the number 6 hitter, will be awaiting the next delivery. Rocker gets the sign that he wants, lifts that glove, and fires. There's a check swing that actually makes contact with the fastball that was up and in. So another foul ball, John, and we stay at 2-2.
That's what you want to see. Jorge at his best, especially when he was a member of the Twinkies, able to extend at-bats, good switchback, good power from both sides of the plate.
Yep, and pretty disciplined, 25.4% out-of-zone swings. That's 3% below the MLB average. So speaking of out of zone, that last pitch was down and away. So full count now after an 0-2 start for Polanco.
Trying to dig into Rocker's pitch count here.
Yes, indeed. Nearing 30 as Polanco takes his time, rocks back and fires just inside. That is a heck of an at-bat for number 7 in blue. Started 0-2 after taking a couple strikes. And John, he's going to be on at first base.
Yes, he is. And that's a good segue to Mariners fireworks night. That's what they're hoping with all these acquisitions here. This is a giant 4-game series. And I think the Mariners, I believe, Cooper, have a 10-game homestand here. So try to get some home cooking and try to work their way through that wild card.
Yep, no question about it. As Dom Canzone, the right fielder, who made a nice play in the previous inning while Texas was up, he'll stand in with 1 away. And Polanco at first. Canzone with a pretty solid average, over 280. You're batting 283. A little bit of power and pop in that bat as well. 6 homers and just 15 RBIs. 1-0 the count. There's the delivery and a little bit taken off. Nice string pull by Rocker, and the count goes to 1-1 with a swing and a miss.
I would say early, for about the 3 or 4 that he's thrown out those knuckle curves, that looks to be his best pitch of the day so far.
Yeah, he's finding location and really fooling hitters early here. That pitch clock counts down to 4 seconds, and he goes with the opposite approach after that knuckle curve, coming back with the 4-seam fastball in that top left corner of the zone. Canzone takes it for strike 2, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You know, the Vanderbilt star that was Kumar Rocker, it takes a little bit, but he's still only 25, working his way through the MLB.
Yes, indeed. Rangers have an excellent pitching staff, and that 87-mile-per-hour fastball breaking ball is fouled off to the left side, so 1-2 remains the count.
And we might see a little bit more of that in the series because they have just traded for Merrill Kelly from the D-backs.
Yes, indeed. Yes, Arizona very, very busy getting rid of some of those bigger name players, 2 of whom are here with the Mariners, and there's an 88-mile-per-hour delivery to the top of the zone. Geno at the top step of the dugout, encouraging his new teammate, Canzone, who was not here during Suarez's previous stint. Suarez getting a long look from the cameras, and there's a big bubble blown as he stands next to Julio. And time will be called here, John, by Canzone, who just wants a moment to dig back in.
That's pretty good for Dom Canzone. Didn't get a ton of time in alongside the D-backs in the trade initially a couple of years ago, but he's really starting to get his feet wet with the M's.
Yep, absolutely. And there is a shot down the line, and that turns and fades foul. Canzone got all of that thing, and it was on the wrong side of that right field foul pole, 1 and 2. A loud foul ball there for Canzone.
Yeah, when I just talked about that knuckle curve from Kumar over the last few pitches, Rocker, he put it in a bad spot, and Canzone got the bat head out in front of it.
Yeah, he certainly did. He pieced that one up, and there's a shot back toward the bag at second. No play at second base as there was no one covering John. So Polanco will make it to second on the fielder's choice as Canzone is thrown out. And maybe a little bit of confusion in the shift there as Corey Seager had to make the play on the ball.
Yeah, I think so, Cooper. And admittedly, that's going to give the Mariners another chance here and bring up J.P. Crawford.
J.P. Crawford, who is now, as of a couple of weeks ago, the longest tenured shortstop in the history of the Seattle Mariners. He's batting .265 this year. Runner in scoring position. Bottom of the second, no score, 2 away for the M's. And there's a fastball right down the center. Boy, that was bullseye target there, John, that Crawford fouled back.
The way that you said that with J.P. Crawford, you almost made me think of Michael Backlund of the Flames.
I love it. Hey, I feel like that won't be the only reference we make to some NHL teams this game here between the Rangers and the Mariners. Time call from behind the plate. And we'll take a look at Crawford's numbers versus Texas this year. Just a solitary home run. Does have 4 runs batted in. He's batting about .256. So Crawford looking to raise that average and potentially raise the RBI count with a base hit right here. The 0-1. 90 miles per hour, up and away. Count even, add a ball and a strike.
Yeah, I mentioned it very early before you came in here, Cooper. If it's a fastball or some of those off-speed pitches, Kumar does have a tendency to hang those ones. If you get count leverage, you got to look to do some damage.
Yeah, and JP known to find a way to spray the ball around this yard, and he'd love to do that right now. Gets underneath the 97 mile per hour fastball. Swing and a miss, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I know it's not nothing to think about right now, but we're 2 outs in from the bottom of the second inning, and Rocker's already at 38 pitches. I'm going to try to get this done quickly.
Yeah, no question. The 1-2 delivery fades away outside with a 2-seamer, and that draws the count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, you're right, John. Mariners have done a good job this inning, just kind of chipping away and adding to that pitch count. Next will be the 40th for Rocker. Again, Polanco on at second. Bottom 2, no score here. 2 outs, and that will be out number 3 as JP is fooled by the breaking ball. Cuts in over the top of his shoes. Swing and a miss, John, and that will be it. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on. We are done with 2.
Oh, and quick note here. Not even a few hours after he got traded there, Brian Hayes already has his first home run as a Red.
I was a little bit surprised, Ian. Maybe Cooper, you could speak to this if you want to as well, that the Cincinnati Reds, I know you got Ellie De La Cruz and some other pieces, but they're going for it to try to get into the playoffs.
They are. And as, you know what, the Braves, Pirates, and other Twins and other fan bases, they have every right to just lose it on their front offices because we don't have time before the next half inning. But throughout this game, I think we need to dissect everything these teams did wrong.
Oh, Ian, you make a great point, John. I'll let you jump back in, too. I mean, we could start regionally. We could even start just in the AL West where apparently the Astros were a little jealous. They're so used to having the spotlight, you guys, that they had to get one of their own former players.
Yeah.
The Mariners couldn't just do it. Had to be Carlos Correa coming back. He spent the first, I believe it was 7 years of his career in Houston and then to the Twins. And, yeah, we could talk just about Minnesota's choices and letting him go, but that's a huge get, I would say. A little bit different offensive production now for Carlos, but still a big positive add for the Astros.
I will say this on Minnesota real quick, and then we can get back into the game. If you were just going to do a full deconstruction of your roster, why would you still look, I understand Byron Buxton and Royce Lewis are injured. But if you're just going to tear down everything, don't leave those three guys there to suffer. Joe Ryan is an ace on nearly every other team. And Buxton, look, Lewis is always hurt, but he has a lot of upside still as a young cat. And we know what Buxton is helping. Just trade them all.
Yeah, that's a frustrating middle ground, Ian, and I don't blame you because you're kind of wondering the same thing for the Cleveland Guardians. They were thinking about shopping Stephen Kwan. They didn't do it. They hold on to J-Ram. That AL Central was open. I think the Twins they did a lot, but they could have done a lot more. As George Kirby back on the mound now, it is a 1-2 count. Now, for Joc Pederson's numbers, he is extraordinarily low, but it's only his 50th game played. He's only got 2 home runs. This is a guy that used to be on the Dodgers that had around like 20, 25 plus. He's hit 30 once, but he's only hitting 122. So George Kirby, I don't think you want to mess around with him. You want to get it done quickly.
Yeah, no question, John. You don't want to let him get into the ways of old and get that power back going.
That's a tough call there. That looked pretty nasty for Cal and Kirby there, but not called.
Yeah, Kirby's been finding his spots. He got the first 2 strikes of this bat, really dotting up the zone. That should have been strike 3.
See, with this too, they try to go even lower there, and Pederson doesn't bite. It's almost a danger for him to let him walk on first base. I know no speed, but as we said, you don't want to let this get away. And then it'll be the former Mariner, Roddy Tellez, former Blue Jay, will be next. It'll be 2 straight lefties, 7 and 8. See what this full count pitch is going to be. And that fastball way outside the zone. That's a missed opportunity there as he goes to first.
Yeah, John, pretty obvious. You can see the disappointment in Kirby's face. I think he was a little shaken after that called ball. And, then you bring up all sorts of conversations about the automatic umpires, AI, and you name it. I'm still, call me old school. I need an umpire behind the plate making those calls, but that one probably almost certainly should have been strike 3 to Joc Pederson.
Yeah, we saw the ones with the Braves when it was right down the middle. Here's a shift away from Suarez, and Tellez goes away from it. It'll be runners at first and second. He hit it right where Suarez couldn't get there.
Yeah, a little misfortune for the M's right there. They understandably had the shift on. Suarez just unable to reach that glove out as he had to run back toward the left field line, third base bag, I should say. So that bounces into left field, and nobody out. Runners at first and second now for Texas.
So Kirby and Rocker's pitch count is essentially the same. That is the first hit of the ball game, and it belongs to Texas. So the runners at first and second. Now, Higashioka is not a major threat, but when you get close for that 2, 3, and 4, I know Semien's numbers have been down, but he's got 6 hits in the last 2 games when he's third in the order here. So got to be on your toes if you're the M's right now, because if Higashioka is going to hit it, he's going to hit it hard on the ground at least. That's what I would have to think. As this pitch clock's down to 5, Kirby taking a couple extra beats at second. He's got to get it across. He does so at 1, and it's 96, bottom left corner, make it 0-1.
Boy, John, great movement watching that fastball start probably just on the outside black and cut back in toward the shoe tops. That's a heck of a pitch from Kirby.
That's what they're looking at. A good call by you is they're getting a dual camera shot of first and third, and Naylor and Suarez, the 2 newest additions. This one in toward the kitchen on the hands. And Geno's going to have a much easier time with this one. Good job there by Kirby to get that pop out.
Yeah, there's a classic choice right there by Kirby. Come inside after going low and away to start the at-bat. You want to jam the right-handed hitter. Did just that. Geno makes an easy routine play in foul territory. And now, runners at first and second. John, it's classic baseball right here. You got to play it any bag, turn 2, get out of it.
Yes, it is. And I want to make a mention, as I'm seeing this on the TV screen now, that was the initial Mariners game that I was going to do, August 9th, the Ichiro retirement night. So I'll be back on the air with the M's at that point. Big cut on a knuckle curve from Smith. He couldn't find it. He was trying to go for the downs.
Yeah, he was. He was looking for 3-0 Texas right there. He came up with air. He is over 1 tonight with the ground out of the first and was thinking long ball on that last swing.
36 walks, 61 strikeouts. Not a ton for Mr. Josh Smith. As 97, way late. Again, 97 has been the story of the day for Rocker or Kirby, and for the most part, both teams can't find it.
Yeah, interesting to watch both of these pitchers work and make comparisons. You can see a lot of similarities, different styles when it comes to breaking ball selection, but the skills and the quality of pitches are there for both of these starters.
Had to go down on the bat head and get that knuckle curve and put it down the first base line. It's 0-2. Again, out of the zone swing for Josh Smith. Again, in between the MLB average, a lot of these guys are pretty disciplined. Again, Texas likes to steal some bases, and alongside Bruce Bochy, not so much for the M's, but a lot of teams that won't strike out too much, as it's 0-2. This one toward the hands up high, make it 1-2 against Smith.
Yeah, top of the lineup card here for the Rangers. And you can see that discipline that you just referenced, John. That high heat's going to take the bat off the shoulders of a lot of hitters, but Smith holds back, count now 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Trying to keep this going and across the order because you get the Corey Seager. I don't care how many games it is. He's a name that you got to look out for as the knuckle curve gets spiked in the dirt.
Yep, and always worth a mention, Corey Seager, the younger brother of Kyle Seager, who's a great Mariner. Spent a lot of time in that spot.
Kyle Seager.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Back to you, John, 2-2.
Fastball way up high puts Cal Raleigh out of the crouch, and all I'll say is E and I completely agree with you on the side for Kyle Seager as we take another look at Corey on full count. Runners could be off with the pitch if they want to, but it's only 1 out. As Kirby and Raleigh not on the same page, will take a little bit of a step off of the mound and use a disengagement.
And Ian, my apologies there. Didn't mean to step on you. I love a shout out for any Seagers at any time. So thumbs up to you, my friend.
Hey, it's all right, man. This is your team.
John, what do you got? Your full count with runners on first and second, 1 away. Kirby ready to deal.
Pitch number 48, and we'll do it again on a fastball. Smith able to get his bat head out in front. And I know we talked about in the previous half inning now with Rocker in his pitch count. We can start to say the same thing for Kirby. They haven't given any damage yet, but the pitch counts are starting to get pretty high.
Yeah, Kirby with that poker face, though, like as is the case for so many pitchers. And, John, I don't want to step on here. I'll just take this 3-2 count. Payoff pitch for Kirby one more time, and that is fouled away. So we continue here. Smith and Kirby battling.
So contact rate outside the zone for Josh Smith is 62.8. So he's able to take something maybe 4 or 5 feet off the plate and dunk it down the line. That'll be something to be known for. Go ahead, Ian.
He's going to go low for a slider. Watch.
Hey, did you see the future?
Well, I just figured he's been going at him like middle and high. I just think, yeah, he's going to go low. He's going to make it look like it's going middle again, and it's going to drop.
Hey, if you want to take my job, you can, Ian. You nailed it.
Widen those pupils, right? You got to make him think, oh, here comes the fastball right down the center. But by the time it's too late, you're swinging, and that thing's on your shoe tops. That was a good call. That was a really good call. Tied him up. Now they see what they want to do here with Seager. Again, we just talked about the Carlos Correa reacquisition. I guess the shameful part for Minnesota was they're also paying $35 million in salary to send him back. That acquisition from a few years ago, Cooper, I can just say it didn't work. Didn't work, and I will be honest, even though I'm certainly no Astros fan, it just never felt right from the start. I'm not saying that Correa could contribute, and he did contribute to Minnesota. And again, we've mentioned this a couple of times. His offensive game has shifted a little bit. He's still a threat at the plate, and it just never felt like it fully gelled in Minnesota. And I think the writing's on the wall there. They let him go, and that's a product of their season. But I think it's a good corner for them to turn. They got to reevaluate.
Well, you guys know about the financial situation of the owners, right?
Yeah, a little bit in Minnesota, yes.
Yeah, how they're $440 million in debt.
Oh, jeez. 0-1 now for Seager against Kirby. And this one he goes and gets Raleigh out of the crouch. We make it 0-2. And we'll see if Kirby can kind of dance around this tightrope a little bit.
Yeah, one name we haven't mentioned here, and we often mention it because of his home run total, but Cal Raleigh, he and Kirby work together so well. Cal Raleigh really respected by his teammates coming out to the mound, and Raleigh's calls here for these pitches have been just ideal so far.
See what they can do on an 0-2. 96 up top, and Seager will follow it straight back and keep it alive.
Good on Kirby right there. You saw the placement of the glove by Cal Raleigh just about 6 inches above the zone, and Kirby is throwing darts right now. He nailed that glove if Seager hadn't got the bat on it.
So just one walk and one hit. This is the first of the game errors. We're still in a scoreless top three. Good pitch there for Kirby on a knuckle curve. Punches out Seager. And we'll go to the bottom third.
Yes, indeed. Just that one hit, John. 2 runners left stranded, including 1 in scoring position. That's what you wanted for Joc Kirby and the M's. And we'll see the Mariners come back to the plate after a little break here, see if they can get a hit on the board as well.
It's not a bad game so far that we've seen. Go ahead, Ian.
So while we're at commercial break, I need to talk about the Pirates. More so, I need to talk about their general manager. We have all seen some pretty bad GMs in our day. Mr. Hopkins, as a Flames fan, I know you have seen some awful managerial mistakes in your lifetime. Ben Cherington is up there with some of the worst. Listen to this. Ben Cherington said that the Pirates have access to players that were ranked higher than who the Yankees offered for David Bednar. But they simply preferred the package that included the number 8 prospect, Rafael Flores, the number 14 prospect, Angeline Perez, and low-A outfielder Brian Sanchez. They had better access to players for a guy that had years of control, whom they should have traded 2 years earlier, but you know what? Whatever. But it gets worse. They also traded Bailey Falter, a pitcher who is not a free agent until 2029 to the Royals, for Evan Sisk, who has had, wait for it, 5 innings of Major League Baseball play.
Dear God.
And a guy who is and a first baseman who is in low A. Look, no disrespect, I had no idea he was on the team. Callan Moss. I had no idea he was in our system.
Ian, if you make that remark to me as a GM and I'm a fan, I'm just going to go get my normal coolest drink and go get a beverage, put some ice in it. My goodness.
I mean, so you had access to higher ranked prospects in the Yankees farm system, and instead you didn't go for that. I mean, and on top of all that, you trade away to Brian Hayes that you signed to a contract.
Yeah.
And the reason his bat fell off is because of a back injury, but apparently he's doing fine right now in his first game as a Red, getting his first home run with them. So, but you know what? This is Bob Nutting's team. So, are we really surprised that he allows this guy to be employed still?
No, I'm not surprised with anything that they do. That was a pretty good swing for Young, but this goes right to Wyatt Langford. 1 out, bottom 3. Cooper, I know he just batted, but let me get some thoughts here really quickly. What do you think about Cole Young, the rookie?
Cole Young, really exciting. Just had his 22nd birthday. I think it was about a week or so ago, John. And I can actually say that I was up at T-Mobile Park just recently visiting family, and the Mariners had a little 11-inning game where Cole Young stepped up, and he brought home the winning run with a single into right field. So he got the bubblegum treatment, and there's a liner back up into center field by Randy Arozarena, Mr. 2020, and he's got the Mariners' first hit of the ball game. But yeah, John, just to wrap it up, I'm very excited about Cole Young and a lot of these younger players that could take roster spots in the next couple seasons for the M's.
Good defensive player, good speed, seems to have a pretty good bat. And for Randy Arozarena, I know now a member of the M's, but seen his electricity alongside with the Rays. If he just continues that as he did through the first half, making himself an all-star, I always like Randy Arozarena too.
Yeah, no question. And you got to think if the Mariners can make an appearance in the playoffs, that's where Arozarena loves to shine. There is a very close fastball on the inside part of the plate. Could have been called a strike, was not, as Cal Raleigh takes ball number 1.
Well, I'll say that now that we're on the broadcast together here for the first time while doing a baseball game, I think it's apropos. Maybe not now, but at some point in this game, that Cal Raleigh's got to go yard, Cooper.
Well, you read my mind, John, and I guess it's all expectation at this point. Not only am I hoping for it, but I guess mathematically you got to be thinking that it's about time. It's been a little while since his last one. He's sitting at 41 here, and he now has a 2-0 count after that last delivery was a little low. So bottom of the third, Rosarena on at first, one away, and there is a swing and a miss, a little bit taken off of that pitch in the outside part of the zone. And John, here it is. We're taking most home runs by catcher in a single season. Run it down for us.
Salvador Perez up top at 48, Johnny Bench and Javi Lopez. You're on the same side with Todd Hundley and Roy Campanella, but with Johnny Bench as well. I mean, come on, Cal Raleigh. Big Dumper could do everything.
Yeah, Cal Raleigh already has cemented himself as one of the best power-hitting catchers in the history of Major League Baseball. It sounds crazy to be hyperbolic like that, but especially if he can do this in more than one season. He's really locked himself into a rarefied air, and there is a cut and a foul back to the screen, and it is 2-2 to the Mariners catcher.
Go ahead, Ian.
Although haters will say that that because Salvador Perez played games as a designated hitter, that 48 home run season doesn't count, which
It still counts.
It still counts, damn it.
We're 3 for 3, and it counts, and I'm putting that in bold and underlined. And there is a shot back up to Seager. He will underhand for the force at second, toss back to first, and Raleigh beats that throw by a half a step. So back-to-back fielder's choices for the M's. Backstop, and he will be on at first with 2 away. Rosarena is retired.
Yeah, for whatever reason, from the first and the third, Cooper, and you called it correctly, a little bit of a mirror match. Rosarena gets thrown out at first, and Raleigh beats out the double play.
Yeah, and just a credit there that Cal Raleigh has the ability to move. That was a pretty soundly struck ground ball, and Seager did bobble it just momentarily, but made a pretty clean play, and Raleigh beat out that throw. Bad swing and a miss by Julio on a breaking pitch well outside of the zone, 0-1.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was looking at there. That was way down low. 254 average for Julio. Julio's still got home run power as well. He's a do-it-all superstar when he's at his best, and we know how good he can be. That's why the Mariners identified him very early. Fastball way down low, make it 1-1.
Yeah, I would say the saltiest of Mariners fans still believe that Julio might be trade bait at some point.
No.
I know. I'm just saying that's one end of an extreme spectrum there. But Julio, I think, is starting to settle into the type of player that he's going to be for the Mariners here. We're not looking at the second coming of Ken Griffey Jr., but he's still a major contributor, even though he does struggle sometimes with pitch identification like he did right there. The curveball fools him pretty badly down low, swing and a miss, 1 and 2.
You still got elite speed and defense. If you can lock in that bat, I mean, there really isn't any other tool that Julio needs.
No question, he's sitting on the next home run, being his 20th of the year, and there is a high fastball on the outer part of the plate that Julio fouls off on the right side. Still 1-2, John, with 2 down here at the bottom of the third. No score. Rangers visiting the Mariners, kicking off this 4-game series to start a 10-game set at home for the M's. On at first is Cal Raleigh, Major League home run leader. The pitch to Rodriguez will be shot over to Seager, who grabs it in the hole, and there's the toss over in time. That's what Corey Seager's going to get you. Throws out Rodriguez, and that is the end of the third. No runs, 1 hit, 1 run left runner, I should say, left on base, and it's a 1-hit apiece, John, in the 4th.
Yeah, both teams finally pick up their first hit of the ball game in the 3rd inning, and I will say, small history or not, for Julio Rodriguez, I believe, Cooper, he's sitting on home run number 99. He can get to 100 tonight.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And that's a significant number. Triple digits, really, with any franchise is pretty meaningful. So, Julio, don't get me wrong. I'm not one of those who are leaning on the extreme side and saying Julio is underperforming so badly that he should be moved. It's far from it. I think you have an argument that he is not underperforming at all, but a major contributor for the Seattle Mariners.
Those Mariners fans are the same ones who would fall into the same camp that certain Royals fans were saying after Caglione didn't come up hitting 400-foot bombs from AAA. Like, guys, he is as raw as you can get If he were a steak or a chicken breast, it would still have feathers or skin on it. Like, geez, calm down. Give him some time to cook.
I like that, Ian. Yeah, it's that chicken breast is still clucking and bouncing around the farmyard. So
by the way,
that chicken breast is.
One last point on the Pirates real quick, and then
Sure.
we can get off them. Did I mention that they did not trade any of their three 1-year deals? Tommy Pham, IKF, and Genge, they're all still there.
That's the one thing that would frustrate me because I haven't talked about the Tigers. I'll do that a little bit later throughout the broadcast when we get some time. But Gleyber Torres is sitting here on a 1-year deal. And if you have any of those 1-year deals in the Pirates, as you said, Ian, those are the guys that you have to move.
Yeah. So, actually, John, if you want at the next commercial break, you can go ahead and talk about your Tigers. I actually want to hear your opinion on this.
Boy. Well,
No, John, I want to hear it too. We're about to start top 4, but we got a little highlight package there in the media timeout. It was all Tigers, so we got to get John Ott's thoughts when the next break comes around.
You want to take this fourth Seahawk?
Yeah, I'll take it so you can get a little Mariners at bats as well. So it's an 0-1 count here to Semien, the former Athletic, and don't get it twisted. Sadly, no longer the Oakland Athletics, but the interim Sacramento Athletics, or unnamed, I should say. And there's a 96-mile-per-hour fastball popped up, kind of in no man's land, and sliding, making a catch in center for the out is Julio Rodriguez. And all those Mariner fans, no, I'm going to be in center field in Seattle for a long time. What a catch.
I love that. And the celebration from the fans as well, sliding, making the catch up at elite speed. We just talked about this, man. Keep him.
That is incredibly impressive. Love these replays. Yep, that was a can of corn dropping quickly. Julio sprints in, slides on the hip, backhand basket catch. Kirby raises the fist. He loves having that defense behind him. So 1 down. Now it's the cleanup man Garcia. Swing and a miss at the 96-mile-per-hour fastball. And if you can't hear it in my voice, I'm pretty jazzed after that defensive gem for Julio.
Yeah, you certainly have to be. Again, that's showing you all the tools that he can flash. And George Kirby just continues to pound away with that fastball up top. This one caught a little bit of a piece. We'll see what happens here toward the right field side. That is Josh Naylor's ball.
Yep, similar type of hit off the bat right there, John, but didn't travel as deeply into the outfield. Naylor, with a mouthful of seeds, able to traipse over just behind the bag at first. Easy play there with his Arizona Diamondbacks red at first base club. He's got to get one of those ordered with some Mariners blue and green, but I'll take the catch no matter the color. 2 down.
Absolutely. Again, we're still waiting for offense in this game. Again, sometimes we're still waiting for offense in this ballpark, depending on the team that you are, as Evan Carter gets set to dig in.
Yeah, John, you make a great point. There are some players in the history of what was Safeco Field and then T-Mobile Park who've done really well here offensively, but this yard does have a way of muting offense, and it has done that tonight. But it's a credit to Rocker and Kirby. Kirby now behind Carter with 2 balls and no strikes. Evan Carter tonight with a line out is 0 for 1.
Yeah, and he's a guy that does not strike out a whole heck of a lot either and has some elite feet to use on base. So try to keep him off as much as you can. With 2 outs here, it makes it 2-1. Just gets the corner toward the right side.
Carter taking a beat there, may have questioned that call, and it was right on the margin, literally of the zone, that back half of the baseball, catching the outer part of the plate, 2-1. Kirby now lets that pitch clock count down and then delivers that movement there. 87-mile-per-hour breaking pitch breaks in toward the shins and it's fouled away. With 2 down now, the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but when I see his record at 5-5 and 450, I say George Kirby is much better than that. He's got some good stuff.
Yeah, no question. Dan Wilson, former catcher for the Mariners back in those glory years in the mid-90s. He's looking for strike 3 here. Almost got it, but Carter holds back the number 5 hitter, and the count is now full with 2 away.
It'll be Wyatt Langford due on deck here in this full count with 2 outs and a scoreless top 4.
Yep, Kirby has been solid tonight. He shakes those shoulders. Cal Raleigh waiting, and now sets up. Looks like it's going to be something high, and nope, it's going to be swung on and missed on a pitch that breaks away from the left-handed batter. And that will do it. So We got 3 up, 3 down, and a web gem from Julio. Just 1 hit apiece for these ball clubs, gentlemen. We have no score heading to the bottom of the 4th.
Let me give you a little bit of a scoring update, and then I will get into. Let me get into it in the bottom of the inning as far as the Tigers. I just want to break this down because Ian brought this to our attention. It was a 16-run 8th inning attack for both of these teams. 8 and 8 in the 8th inning. It ends with Atlanta winning 12-11 in the 10th inning against the Reds.
That is wild stuff. I had the pleasure of being at Truist Park in Atlanta about a year ago, and they had an offensive outburst. They took care of the Dodgers in a shutout, 10-0 that game. So same deal. They got a win in that game, but a little different. Had a little trouble with the offense and still come away with the victory. That's crazy scoring in that ball game.
Ellie De La Cruz is so much fun to watch. He had 3 hits, 3 RBI as well. And I know you guys probably saw the highlights. I know it's been a while, but we can talk about it anyway. What was it? Nick Kurtz of the Athletics was 6 for 6 with 4 tanks and I think 18 total bases.
Yeah. Ian, I got to hear your thoughts because that was, and this is without going over the top, that was literally one of the greatest single-game offensive performances in the history of Major League Baseball. But what do you think about that? It's just wild stuff.
All I can think is this. Somebody find incriminating evidence on John Fisher right now before he ruins this kid or sells him off to another team and does nothing to help the Athletics. Find him saying some racial slurs. I'm serious. He needs to sell right now.
I will agree with you on that because if you're an Athletics fan, you don't want to have somebody like him leave because, again, I think for Kurtz, what is he, only 20 years old?
They drafted him last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just outlandish. That kind of outburst is just crazy work. It's so impressive for him.
I make John Fisher sell the team by any means necessary. Same thing with Bob Nunny. Same thing with Dick Bonner. Guys, we really need to pay someone to find evidence on these guys.
There's a lot of other owners on teams that you struggle through all that stuff with the Rockies. You could say the same thing across sports. You can say the same thing. It's tough out there. Naylor, this would be a cue shot off the end of the bat, make it 2-1 as Rocker's really trying to pitch inside to Josh.
Yeah, it looks like that foul ball may have clipped the home plate umpire there, John. I don't think he's too worse for wear, but had to take a second, hands on the knees and a deep breath, walking out toward the mound to give Rocker the next baseball. And, hopefully that our home plate umpire there is not injured because I'm getting a slow-mo replay. Let's see what we got. Oh, right off the tips of the toes. That can't feel good.
No, I don't think there's a lot of protection there, Cooper. I think you nailed that as it's 2-1. It's going to be pitch number 59 for Kumar Rocker. I will say this, I'm not short-sighting the M's at all, but I do think there's been a couple hanging pitches that the Mariners can take advantage of. This will go right to second base. No problem for Semien. He's one of the very best short-handed. Toss over to first, 1 up, 1 out.
Yeah, you make a good point here, John. And this is the time of the ballgame when you want to see those Mariners hitters start to make their adjustments. Second time through the lineup here, 4, 5, 6, 2 up for the M's. And now the cleanup man, Naylor, is down after the ground out. Guess who it is? He struck out in his first at-bat back with Seattle. You see those welcome home Geno signs around the ballpark. So strikeout for Suarez, his first time up. He's got another shot at it right here. Take it away, Mr. Osh.
I still have a very fondness for Eugenio Suarez as I tongue-tie myself because he started as a member of the Detroit Tigers. Again, he was traded all too soon for Alfredo Simon when Dave Dombrowski used to be the GM. Now he's the GM of the Phillies, waiting on the 0-1, and they'll look to see if he offered at it. Man, they're going to say that he did, 0-2.
Yeah, good reminder there, John. Actually, I remember his time with the Reds so well that I almost left you out. I'm glad you made the call, but Suarez got to make a good call here as he's behind in this one 0-2, and here's the delivery way up high, 96, 1-2.
Yeah, he was one of those guys during all the stuff at the deadline swing. He said, I would love to make a return back to Detroit if they want to have me. And I was just like praying, honestly, as it goes 1-2. Fastball inside toward the legs, make it 2-2. Again, RBI leaders this season He's on that same list alongside with Judge and Schwarber, Cal Raleigh, and Suarez. So lots of home runs, lots of pop, good contact, and always a dangerous at bat. Make it 2-2 from 0-2. And this one hit very hard, fair down the third base line, and that'll get Geno a single. He's trying to push it into 2. Here's the throw cut off by Semien. He's got a double.
Stand up two-bagger. Welcome back, Geno. He's giving a little fist bump to the fans. That is what the Mariners faithful want to see. That was the line shot right inside the bag, and the Mariners now with one down have runner in scoring position. That's how you do it, Geno.
Get that bat head, Cooper, just out in front, a little bit early, keep it fair, a little rolling, tough play. The third base side, no chance. And you get a runner in scoring position here for Jorge Polanco, former Twin. 20 doubles, 36 home runs, so that on base plus slugging for Geno. Lots of pop. 96, that's a tough call against Jorge. He's got to take strike 1.
Yeah, he had a little question there for the umpire, and Polanco was just a subtle shake of the head. You know what I will say? At least we've gotten consistent calls. That inside strike has been called a few times earlier.
So he had a walk in the second. He did not offer and a knuckle curve in the dirt. He's hitting 252 on the year again. 16 bombs, 40 RBI, 26 walks, 46 strikeouts. Again, for a lot of these numbers, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, don't strike out a whole heck of a lot. So they're going to make these pitchers work, as Rocker's in pitch number 67 was Suarez at second. 90 on an off-speed pitch that was awfully close. Polanco, good eye, 2-1.
Yeah, another example there with that outside pitch that's just tickling the zone. That is not being called, but those fastballs that are in the inner part of the zone that should be called balls, those have been called strikes, so let's keep an eye on that. 2-1 to count. Suarez at second, 1 away.
Here's a cut. I think it bit Polanco as he got a piece of it and fouled it off. He's getting an extra beat as it walked back into the batter's box.
Yeah, everybody's got to watch their toes. It's toes mobile tonight. I gotta pull that one back. That's too much. This is not comedy hour. I love it though. Polanco doing his best there, trying to pull that baseball. Wants to at least get the runner from second to third here with just 1 away, but he had that ball bite him on the back foot. Now the trainer's out, John.
Just to double check on Polanco, he's going to shoo everybody away and say that he's okay and a good leverage at bat. He's trying to get RBI number 51 on the season.
Sorry, John. I just now have to point it out. I think yours is worse than mine. You said he has to shoo everybody away, so I'll just leave it right there.
We're just using all the puns.
Hey guys, look, I would be more disappointed if you didn't make the dad jokes and the puns. I would be more disappointed.
This one toward the track for Carter. It doesn't have a great arm. It will get Suarez to third.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, we won't let you down. If we have more opportunities, we will make sure that we fire with both barrels. So Polanco does it. He doesn't do it on the ground, but he sends a deep fly ball to center. John, good call on your part. And the throw back in, not particularly hard. Certainly no Ichiro out there. And Suarez able to run into third, standing up. So 90 feet away here, the Mariners have a runner for the first time for either team at third base with 2 down here at the bottom of the fourth. No score so far.
It's always a good day when you get to call some baseball with some besties, and then you got some mailboat jumping on ESPN2 tomorrow morning. So I guess I'm just going to be all over the place tonight.
We love hearing those dulcet tones, pal. And there's the first cut by Canzone, and he fouls one away, 0-1.
So 0-2 with runners in scoring position, 230 average are the M's. Geno would be the first one to get plated today, and that would be very apropos considering this is a glorious trade deadline day for the M's in a huge series. And the 96 inside to Canzone make it 1-1.
Yeah, that one too tight. We've been talking about the zone stretching inside a little bit, not outside. That one was about 8 inches too close to the knees. Mariner fans staying hydrated. Got binoculars out there at T-Mobile Park. 1-1 count, John.
1-1. Here's a fastball just fouled on the first base line for Rowdy Tellez. He is a big boy over there. Make it 1-2.
Yep, Rowdy was released, and that was, boy, we referenced those Mariners fans who are on the extreme side of things. Rowdy actually had similar to numbers to Julio when Julio was named a backup for the All-Star team. Of course, Julio declined the offer to work on his swing and take some time off, but Rowdy was let go by the Mariners, and here he is tonight, starting for the Rangers.
Pitch clock down to 2, up high, and Canzone offers, follows it straight back as Kumar Rocker is getting closer to pitch number 75 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, Mariners fans putting their hands together. Canzone doing a pretty good job at the plate to fight these pitches off. His strikeout percentage exactly even of the MLB average, 21.9% of his at-bats.
So leverage at bat, spiked into the dirt. Here comes Geno. He's going to score.
Yes, indeed. We'll take it however we can get it. A couple of claps for Suarez, as that is a tip of the cap to Canzone for what we were just saying, John. He extends this at bat, almost grounds out, gets a couple of foul balls. You never know what can happen. Guess what? Wild pitch. It's 1-0 Mariners. Suarez kicks things off with the run.
It was only fitting, was it not, Cooper?
No question about it. I mean, that is what you love to see. Now the Mariners need to add to this. They want to get as much scoring done as they can, which is not always easy for them. But this is a good start here in what has been a pitcher's duel so far.
As we said, a critical 4-game series. And Canzone, they're going to say, got a piece of it on the way down. He was lunging, but it stays 2-2.
Wow, could have fooled me. I thought that was the end of the 4th inning right there. But, boy, he just nicks that baseball and fires it into the dirt. So we'll continue at 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 away, 1 run in, Mariners with the lead.
Kumar Rocker trying to make sure to keep things where they are. A little cue shot past a diving Semien, and Adolis Garcia got to play it on a hop. We'll keep things going.
I love it. Number 8 in blue claps those hands at first. Hey, you can do it any way you want it. You can lengthen that at back, get a little wild pitch, or you can lace one into right field for a single. Keeps the inning going.
As we said for Dom Canzone before coming into yesterday's game, he was batting .290. Again, he's only played, this will be his 43rd game, really getting a chance to start in his major league career at 27, and he's playing some big leverage for Seattle in the bottom of the order. He's done a good job.
Yeah, he has. That brings up the number 8 hitter, J.P. Crawford, the shortstop. He's on another pitch spike hitter, John, and that's a great stop behind the plate. That would have been Canzone at second with 2 down. I love seeing Canzone and Rowdy Tellez, former teammates. That's one of the fun things about watching a baseball game at any level. Guys that have played together, sharing a laugh, you see those smiles on their faces. It brings a smile to mine as well.
And again, as you mentioned, between Rocker and Higashioka, they got crossed up a couple times, and this one almost hits Higashioka on the mask, make it 1-1 against JP.
Yeah, John, there's a foul ball from Crawford on that last swing. I think it was either the ball or the bat got our home plate umpire again, but he's all covered up with those pads, so he's able to continue. But, man, it's been a wild inning behind the plate.
Yes, it has, an adventure, and the M's are trying to score some more runs. Good hold off of the arms there for JP. Fastball just outside up top, make it 2-1.
Man, that is a heck of it. That is a veteran take right there. I don't think anybody else on this roster, I would say, could take that pitch. That is a fastball that is an inch outside the zone. Your eyes got to be big looking at that, but it's 2-1. JP ahead in the count. This
one will be a knuckle curve, dive bomb into the dirt from Semien to tell us, and it is 1-0. Score on the wild pitch. Dom Canzone gets a hit. Mariners 1 run, 3 hits, no errors. Rangers got just 1 as we end the 4th.
That's it. So Canzone gets a little fist bump right there. He's a big reason that the Mariners have that run, and just good classic baseball. Suarez able to get on with the stand-up double. He's moved over with the fly ball. He gets the 3rd. Canzone stretches out that at-bat as long as possible. He ends up with a hit, but it was the wild pitch that did it. So Mariners open scoring. It's a narrow lead. It's 1-0, but a good start for the home team.
All right. So, John, your Tigers.
Oh boy, you're gonna make me do this? Okay, so let's just do this with the Tigers. So let me say the nicest thing I can say. Chris Paddock, again, former Padre Twin, comes over from the Tigers. At best, I think he's a number 4 starter. When I saw that move just yesterday, I said, this is probably the extent of what the Tigers are going to do as far as leverage arms. They need to replace Reese Olson, who's done for the year. I would give that one a passable C. I know they're going D+ and all that, but no, I think he's going to fit. As far as everybody else, I'll be honest with you, gentlemen. There are about 7 or 8 names. Randy Dobnak, a couple other guys that they've added in from bullpen side from the Braves that have been added in. And I will still tell you that AJ Hinch is the best manager in the business, but they're taking output maybe at -5% and trying to get this one close to 0 to maybe +2%. That's on a scale of 100. And what I mean by that is AJ is going to have all these guys, and they went bargain bin hunting in the local trash dump. They didn't give up a whole bunch, but they're hoping to bring in a bunch of names. Will be quality over quantity, and that's what they went for today. So that is my take for it.
I love it, John. You completely. I love the intensity. You just froze us. We're scared to say anything. We're scared. We don't want you to come with any more heat and catch some of it. But listen, I still think, just from an outsider's perspective, that Tigers can make some real noise. Do you think, just generally speaking, as Langford looks at strike one here as we start the top of the fifth, you think the Tigers can make a real run at something this year?
I do think the AL Central is still theirs to take, so I think they're going to be granted to be a playoff team. But I'll be honest with you, Mr. Hopkins, if the M's and the Tigers end up playing against each other, which is a real possibility in round numero uno, I'd be very scared to play against Seattle.
Well, then you and I will have a different conversation. I know we're looking at some Saddle Dome dates before that that famous venue goes into the. I don't know, where do venues go when they're gone? Is there a heaven for great?
I hope so.
I hope so too, but we'd have to talk about some playoff baseball potentially.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
I just default and say they go to Valhalla.
That's it. That's what I'm going to say from now on. Thank you.
I love it, Ian. George Kirby gets set to dig back in here for 6, 7, and 8 part of the batting order. That'll be Wyatt Langford, Joc Pederson, Rowdy Tellez. That's a good stab, but they got to get over cover first. George Kirby does his job, beats out Langford.
Hey, credit John. Yeah, go ahead.
No, John's saving all the gas for. Well, hopefully not. Hopefully the Red Wings do get to the playoffs within the next 3 years, and he doesn't have to unload the tank.
Oh my! Well, John and I, you and I have talked about this. There's.
I got a voice to save, Ian.
A lot of heat if they don't make some playoff runs here very soon.
When we get to another commercial break, I do want to have a quick conversation here with Cooper, because you just brought up some of the Saddle Dome stuff. I kind of want to knock that away. I know that's still another year and part about thinking about it, but I do want to kind of knock that down. It's Pederson, big swing and a miss on an inside off-speed pitch, and George Kirby has looked very, very good today so far.
Yeah, and for a lanky starting pitcher, he actually showed some wheels there as Naylor had to range to his right, almost towards second base, and make the underhand toss to big number 68. He steps on the back for that first out. There's a swing at a 95-mile-per-hour fastball that Pederson sends out of play, so quickly behind at 0-2.
I don't want to put words in Cooper's mouth here either, but between Kirby and Wu and Gilbert, I mean, you could be watching a lot of these games where the Mariners have an early lead and then you get into the bullpen and see what happens. But every single one of these starters, that's why the Mariners always have a chance to win the ball game.
Yeah, it's true. And you would say, I mean, I think that the bullpen has not been as primary a strength as it has been in previous years, but still not shaky by any stretch. But yeah, the young arms, Logan Gilbert leading the way for these starters. The Mariners have, I think, on paper at least, a lot of what it takes to get into the playoffs and make some noise. And that's how you do it with that tight fastball. We've talked about it, boys. That strike is being called 96, upper part of the zone, about 2 inches inside. But that's a strike tonight. Strike out Pederson.
Yeah, and absolutely. And if you're going to swing at that at all, if you're Joc Pederson, you're going to need some new firewood.
No question. I would have split the bat for sure. And here's a man who has no problem splitting firewood. Look at that upper body. My goodness, Rowdy Tellez.
Yeah, Rowdy Tellez does the best lumberjack impression that I could ever ask for. But again, he's got a ton of power. Who cares about the average side of it more so? Being a Kyle Schwarber light. I'm trying to say light in the third respect because nobody touches Schwarber there, but that same type of body type as it's 1-0. Good off-speed pitch, make it 1-1 toward the knees.
There's some movement on the breaking pitch that cuts in toward the knees this time. So, yeah, 1-1 with 2 away here in the top of the fifth. Man, there has never been another ball player whose first name fits them better than Rowdy Tellez. He looks like a Rowdy.
97 on the inside black. Kirby really starting to dot in this fifth inning.
Yeah, you can see it. Kirby, I think not only is he fully warm now as we are about halfway through this ball game if we play the standard 9, but he's feeling the confidence as well. He's got to run, and sometimes that's all the Mariners are going to get you. So he's saying, all right, I'm going to do some work here. It's 1-2 count to Tellez.
This one will be blocked, and off the knuckle curve will do it again. And Tellez, just before that pitch, gave that same kind of look that I would if I played MLB The Show too long late at night and swing at everything.
Yeah, you are right. And Tellez does strike out just a little under a third of the time. That's what Kirby and the Mariners want here, 2-2 count.
Big swing, but in toward the hand. Still almost able to fight that off to the warning track, but Canzone will make the catch.
That looked a little threatening there, but you're right, John. That was in off the barrel. So I think if he barrels that up, we could have a tie game here. But Kirby, sigh of relief as he heads back to the dugout. No runs, no hits, no errors. He faces the minimum of this Kirby, and it's still 1-0 M's. They'll be up in the bottom of the fifth after this.
So, Cooper, I'm not going to put any pressure on you, but I do want to lay out what my thought process was for this year for 25-26, since I'm going to be doing some other things that I got to get taken care of with the missus. I can't go on vacation this year, but I was thinking 26-27, and I believe the Saddle Dome will still be in operation then when we officially will take our trip. Is that okay with you?
That's fine with me.
Okay.
And the only question I would have, and I should know this, I'm a bad fan here, we just need to confirm that this coming season is not, and I don't think it is, but I just want to confirm that this season that is about to start is not the last in the Saddle Dome for the Flames.
I certainly hope not, because if it is, I'm going to be disappointed.
But that's where, in fact, while we have a little, why not use this laptop that's right in front of me and actually look something up for once? You're the one. I'm just used to you doing all the research, Sean. I'm riding your coattails as usual.
I'm looking. This is Google AI, so I got to make sure on the Flames Nation site or anything else it said the 26-27 NHL season will be the last for the Flames to play at the Saddle Dome.
There it is. Confirmed. Look, you beat me to it. No surprise. Okay, so good. And our plan, at least the beginning of the plan, is starting to firm up.
All right. No, that sounds good to me. I definitely want to get that done because I'll be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, we got a chance to go to T-Mobile Arena to be able to see Matty Beniers score and beat the Chicago Blackhawks and all that jazz, which, as when we covered our show and alongside with Cooper for Free Agency Frenzy, it does feel like 5 years ago, but it was not. But I would definitely recommend going there. I can't wait to see what happens with the Saddle Dome.
Yeah, we certainly had some fun at Climate Pledge. That was a great night at Michigan Band. He got one that evening. Kraken came away with the win. The Mariners are at least poised here as we start the bottom of the fifth to get the W tonight, but still lots of work to be done. As Young, the number 9 hitter for Seattle, takes a look at a low strike, 0-1 the count. And here's the next pitch from Walker. That one well below the zone. It's tossed aside. And we will have a count even at 1-1. There you see those wild card standings, John. The Rangers and the Mariners currently tied for the last spot. The Mariners, because of record, are in the last playoff position.
And that is all important. You want to make sure you have. That's a good swing for Cole.
That one poked deep and gone, John. You handed it off to me second deck. The youngster, that is Cole Young. He's got the number 2 on his jersey. Put number 2 on that manual scoreboard and left. It's 2-zip Seattle.
Cooper, are you kidding me? 113 exit velocity, 470 to right field.
Yeah, you don't think Dan Wilson and the staff aren't excited about this guy? You're crazy. And the fans are as well. I got to see it in person. He gets the trident, lifts it high, doubles the lead for the home team, 2-zip Mariners.
Please tell me he pimped the home run.
He definitely didn't, Ian, but he definitely should have because he crushed that thing.
Yeah, John, that was an incredible handoff from you to me, by the way. Thank you for playing back and letting me get the second half. And there's a Rosarena who swings right through 96 miles per hour. He was trying to go back-to-back on the next pitch. So 0-1, but my goodness, second deck power from your number 9 hitter, John?
We talk about it. He's got a good glove. He's got some speed. That's what they're high on is his defense. If he brings a bat like that, Cooper, you really got to be happy with what he could be.
Yeah, absolutely. First home run in his home ballpark. Young was at the bottom of the lineup. That is major to get production there. So 2-zip, bottom 5, 0-2 the count to Rosarena. Now he's going to drill one to right, but the catch will be made out there. Pretty routine play. So 1 down, and we get another shot of Young. And now get the slow-mo, John. Look at this. Just dialed up and instantly knew where that ball was going. Way out of here.
I mean, that hit that T-Mobile sign toward right field. That was absolutely sandblasted.
And I love it. I actually got to look there trying to show Suarez's reaction. Naylor was right next to Suarez. He kind of grimaced, almost like, when you see something so impressive, it's disgusting. And there's a shot by Raleigh. Well, he's done that twice tonight. Curls one into the right field bleachers. I should say right side bleachers. So that's foul at 0-1. But Raleigh wants a piece of this action too.
Absolutely. You want to see your teammates doing that, it's got to fire you up.
I love it. There's some good camera work by the T-Mobile crew finding that Griffey jersey. Now Raleigh gets underneath one, skies it out to right. Does it have the distance, John? Fading, gone for Cal Raleigh. Make it 3-0 Seattle. 2 home runs of the inning. And the major league leader in long balls has 42, closing in on 48, the most all time for a catcher.
I'm so happy that you got to join me on this broadcast, Cooper, and you got to take those calls. That feels so good. M's take a 3-0 lead. They played a good ball game. Grab that Trident again, number 29.
I love it. You know what? This Root Sports crew, which is providing the broadcast here, they're finding all the small stats in between the big stats, and that is now apparently at 42 home runs, the most all-time for a switch hitting catcher. So we're looking for records every time Raleigh sends one deep, and he just did right there. Cole Young and then Cal Raleigh, the most unlikely home run hitter and the most likely home run hitter for the team. They did it, both of them. So we've been talking about ends of the spectrum. These guys are at it, and man, oh man, love to see that Cal Raleigh home run drop.
I'll say this too, honestly. We got that Cole Young home run. You get Cal too. You had Geno in there with Josh Naylor. You're really extending this lineup that can be dangerous.
Yeah, Jerry DePoto's got to be feeling good. I love seeing J.P. Crawford, the veteran of veterans on this team, comes up to Young. I love seeing them talk, a little celebration. This is good stuff. And you know what, John? You said it. The first time you saw that good vibes only sign out there in left field, that's what it feels like right now.
Yeah.
Julio steps in with one away.
And it was a good thing, I'll say this too, for the Seattle Mariners to get after Bruce Bochy's squad and Kumar Rocker before he had a chance to leave the ball game undamaged.
Rodriguez, who's 0 for 2 tonight, about to be 0 for 3, tries to get on his horse, but that is a bouncing ground out to the shortstop Seager. So a little bit of trouble tonight for Rodriguez, but we won't let those good vibes fade. It's 3-0 M's. They came into the bottom of the 5th here leading by 1. Suarez had scored on a wild pitch during a Canzone at bat, and we get Young going yard, second deck to the right field side, and then Raleigh just deposits one about 3 feet over that right field wall, and now we see Naylor as Rocker is going to throw his 90th pitch. First delivery to Naylor. Little bit low, check swing, but the home plate umpire says it's a strike anyway. So no balls and 1 strike to the cleanup man for Seattle.
And you got to believe with the damage that's already been caused in Rocker at pitch number 90 that this is probably his last batter of the ball game.
Yeah, no question. Now Naylor rips one that's going to drop in. No man's land, little can of corn out there in right center, John. The inning will continue. So these Mariners are starting to find it, and I haven't seen an official announcement that there's activity in the Rangers bullpen. But boy, I don't need a camera shot to tell you. Somebody's got to be warming up out there.
Here comes Bruce. I think this will
that
be.
tells us all we need. I'm not sure who he's going to call, but this will be it for Rocker, who's been touched up. This inning, 3-0 Mariners, is going to be a pitching change.
Yeah, I think it had to happen. Again, we talked about it. It is you have a chance to get a little later, hang some pitches. He did just that. But I'll just say this for Rocker. I know he's 25 and Young is 22, a little bit younger there. But when you get a chance and you see a ball go 470 feet, and for Kumar Rocker, his numbers aren't great as his ERA is getting closer to 5 now. That really has to make you think, uh-oh, when you see something like that.
Yeah, I will say yes on one side of the coin. And look, there are no moral victories, right? This is Major League Baseball. You got to deliver, and it's what have you done for me lately? And sometimes it's what have you done for me pitch to pitch. Everything was going well for Rocker, by and large, except for a wild pitch, right? Okay, you get one mistake. All of a sudden, the tide completely turns, and you cannot give up long balls, especially just rocket shots off the bat to those number 9 hitters. So that was really the beginning of the end. Can't blame anybody for giving up a home run to Cal Raleigh. He's just having that kind of a year. But, yeah, it went well for Rocker until it didn't. I know that sentence doesn't always make a ton of sense, but that's what I'm landing on.
Yeah, and again, it's kind of hard to think about because we don't call a ton of baseball games, but I do remember one about 3 seasons ago for you and I, opening day between the Guardians and the Mariners. Mariners get the win. Walk-off winner was from Ty France. And now we look at this lineup now from where it is completely different.
Ty France, yeah, that's a great call. You know what? I will say this. He was a great Mariner. He is still loved by the fans here. He's been back. He's gotten some ovations, and they were deserved. Had a little bit of a drop-off in his play late in his tenure with the team, but he had some huge hits, including that one that you just referenced. And, boy, John, we're taking a look at most home runs on July 31st. We're in Barry Bonds, McGuire, Sosa, and Judge territory. Cal Raleigh. Unreal.
That just doesn't seem real when you think about it. Some of those other guys were using steroids.
Yeah, it's true. Three of them, unfortunately, of the 5 that were listed. And that's Judge and Cal Raleigh at the bottom of that list. 42 home runs through July 31st. And the others had 43, 43, and 45, with Bonds being the latter with the top number on that list. So just unreal performances in terms of home run hitting. And speaking of home run hitters, one of them standing in right now. He scored the first run of the game for the Mariners. Now cuts hard and misses at Latz's second pitch. It's a 1-1 count to none other than Eugenio Suarez, who doubled in the 4th.
Yeah, Jacob Latz, 2.98 ERA, probably one of the better arms out of the Rangers bullpen. Here goes the runner.
Runner goes. Naylor, he's there just in time. Boy, that's a bang play, but Naylor showing some speed. And the Mariners love all of his skills, as now with 2 outs, the runners in scoring position.
And also, let's remember that Cal Raleigh is a big dump. Okay, who came up with that nickname for Cal Raleigh?
Whoever did is the greatest of all time.
I know the answer to that. One. I actually saw him play. Remember, I referenced that Braves game I went to. He was in the game that day. That was none other than Jared Kelnick, who's basically out of the pros, or not out of the pros, but out of the bigs right now.
That is one of that's a GOAT nickname. That is the GOAT.
Okay.
Jared Kelnick gets credit, and Cal Raleigh has confirmed it. That is true. The former Mariner, Jared Kelnick, at one time one of the top prospects in the world. And things have fallen off a little bit for Jared, but they haven't for Eugenio Suarez. He's 1 for 2 tonight, I should say. Count is even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bottom of the 5th. Mariners with a couple home runs this inning. They lead 3-0 against the visiting Rangers.
He scored the first run off a double and scored off a wild pitch from Dom Canzone. So Suarez already had a good day trying to add to it.
Yep, he's a difference maker. That's why DePoto went out and got him back. You can see Naylor there at second. There's the breaking pitch well outside. So we got a full count to Geno. You know he's going to get the green light here. Anything close to that zone, going to try to get the bat on it.
I'm going to say the obvious here, Cooper. I know it's a big 4-game series, but to get to go into that bullpen early for Texas, good sign for Seattle.
Yeah, really good sign with Polanco on deck. Naylor on at second, gets that lead. 3-2 pitch. That one is popped up. Should do it. Right there at second, settling underneath it for the catch are the Rangers, and that will do it in the bottom of the 5th. The damage done. Cole Young tipping the cap to you, sir, and Raleigh as well. Now 3 runs, 6 hits total for the Mariners. Just that single hit against George Kirby for the Rangers. They're coming back for the top of the 6th after this break.
I want to make sure, I know that you're in here with the broadcast, Cooper, and I humbly appreciate it because we've worked a lot of these and had a lot of fun over the years, but I don't want to oversell it, but that shot from Cole Young was an absolute bomb.
Yeah, that's one of the hardest hit home runs. And look, I've been watching this team. I've seen what Cal Raleigh's been doing. I've seen some Julio home runs. I've seen Rosarena put some over the fence. Cole Young, that is beyond a no-doubter, John. No-doubter doesn't even do it justice. That was an incredible shot.
470 as it's a 3-0 lead for the M's. Again, we'll go back across, but it is 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors, just 1 hit for the Rangers as we get set to play in the 6th. Go ahead, Ian.
If you look at the Jumbotron, if there was ever a video to describe AJ Preller year after year, I'm not proud.
Oh, Jesus.
But tell me this is not an accurate representation of what AJ Preller does every trade deadline.
Well, let me profile this as nicely as I can for the listeners, anyone that catches this on YouTube. What Ian just shared from us alongside Tree, who everybody knows, just shows Elmo from Sesame Street doing a whole bunch of wild things. And that certainly seems like what happens during the deadline. That's very accurate, good sir.
Yeah, some controlled substances there. I love that. We're getting the hit tracker, the home run tracker from your Northwest Chevy dealers, the drives of the game. Cal Raleigh, again, puts one just over that right field fence. But you know what? This is crazy to say, boys. But when we're talking anything outside of the home run derby, Cole Young may have just hit one of the longest home runs that he has ever hit in his life, and B, even though he's a rookie, may ever hit in his career.
That's definitely true. Again, 470 is nothing to sneeze at as George Kirby is back out there for the 6th. Again, he's only given up 1 hit. It's a 1-0 count. He's only at pitch number 78.
John, go ahead and take this if you want to. You got Shioka up there, the number 9 hitter, 1-0 count for him as we start at the top of the 6th.
I appreciate that. As well, this one get followed straight back again. We'll try to keep this thing even. I'm just having a lot of fun as we've been able to go back and forth. We got Ian Genge with us, John out here alongside Cooper Hopkins. Happy to be joined in. I figured this could happen considering the special day that it was. Now it's just got to be cemented in M's victory, and we'll see how many more runs they can score because you might see Munoz later, might not. As this one into the hands, it's a good swing for Higashioka, but he yanks it fouled on the third base line, 1-2.
Yeah, you said it, John. I actually really like that swing. So fluid, got a lot of the baseball, which turned on as that ball pitch, I should say, faded inside. So Kirby ahead of the count narrowly here at 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I would say for the most part, then there was a spot in the 4th after the hit that was given up, but Kirby has been pretty calm, cool, and collected as far as everything else. The fastball has been electric. Again, Rocker really only got touched up in that previous inning, so the starters have been decent. Again, the Ichiro bobblehead is going to go between 5 and 7. I'll be back on the broadcast during the retirement day. That's a good swing and a miss on the knuckle curve. Bring another one up for Kirby.
Yeah, you know what, John? You referenced MLB The Show right there, and that's kind of what you want to do when you got the controller in your hands. You want to work the batter's vision inside, outside, high, and low. And those last 2 pitches were in order: inside, outside, and then he drops the bottom out, takes him down low for that swing and a miss, going out.
And you're only able to do things like that when you have supreme control and confidence of the up to 6 pitches that Kirby throws. And he's had masterful location today for the most part.
Oh, I want to make a quick note. That video I put up there, of course the song would be the one that starts with the lyrics, I don't give a damn about my reputation.
Well, of course, that's the way it's got to go alongside for the Pirates. Again, I just feel bad for Alec on that side being part of that. At least he has the Penguins, but they're going through the rebuild too, and then the Steelers. But again, I've been through it over a decade with all the Detroit teams, so it comes and goes. It's cyclical, and swing and a miss. Kirby got Smith to go way outside the zone, and he normally doesn't do that.
Yeah, Smith fooled there as that one was way outside and low, and that is 3 pitches and 3 strikes for strikeout number 2. Kirby still working here through the 6th.
Excellent work here for George. It looks like he's settling in. Again, if I'm bench boss on the side for the Seattle Mariners and Dan Wilson, this can be tougher in the hole, and this gets past both infielders. It'll be a single here for Corey.
Boy, that ball, that grounder into right, placed just beyond the outstretched gloves of the right side infielders for the Mariners. Naylor gave it good effort there, but it's the second hit of the ball game after a couple of strikeouts. So, Dan Wilson's going to keep an eye on this thing. That is Corey Seager. He's a heck of a hitter. going to want to get out of this because the heart of the order is now up for the Rangers.
Yeah, Semien is third, and then Adolis Garcia. If anyone else should reach, as you got Corey at first. I'll pull up the official box here, but you got Seager with a hit and then Tellez as well. Again, that was the very definition of a seeing eye single as it gets between two fielders toward the first base line. Semien is very good at working counts. So regardless of where the score is, you got to make sure you give your best when he's out there, and George Kirby's been able to do that. This one way outside, make it 1-1.
Yeah, 1 ball and 1 strike to Semien. That first pitch was beauty. It was a sinker that caught the center portion of the zone, a little bit low. 89 pitches coming up here for Kirby. And Semien 0 for 2 tonight. Runner on at first with 2 down for Texas.
Semien clubs this one. This one's going to split the gap. Seager's at second. He's going to work his way to third. And they're going to give an opportunity to send him. Looks like JP cuts it off. It'll be runners at second, third. Seager will stay where he is.
Yeah, John, I'm going to say right now, I know Seager is not the most fleet of foot, but this is exactly what we were worrying about when Semien stepped in. You don't want to let this thing start to get away from you. And this is shades of what happened to Rocker. Everything was going great until it wasn't. Still no run scored for the Rangers and 2 away after a couple of strikeouts. But I think if Seager were any faster, they'd probably send him there and get this thing to 3-1.
I agree with you. I was thinking the same thing during the live call. Caleb Ferguson, who they just traded for from the Pirates, another lefty to bring alongside for the Mariners, now starting to get warm. He would join Gabe Spire as the other lefty as we get another long look. I don't want to call this into existence for Mariners fans, but with Adolis Garcia at the dish, if Kirby makes a mistake, we could absolutely see this be a tie game. But Cooper is right. If there was any extra speed there for Seager, probably would have sent him. But you also think about Garcia, he could play to everybody himself.
Yeah, and look, there's a reason why Texas is where they are, technically tied with the Mariners or just beneath the Mariners for that final wild card spot. And here is your cleanup hitter with 2 runners in scoring position. 3-0 M's for the time being.
Biggest at-bat of the game here, and that's not being hyperbolic, as it's 1-0. The M's enjoying a 3-0 lead. A couple of shots there for Cole Young and Cal Raleigh. Geno Suarez, wild pitch scored from Don Canzone. Texas now trying to find their offense in this critical 4-game series. Big one in the AL West. Big swing and a miss. Dead center on the fastball, and Garcia swings through it.
Yeah, I like to see that. I like to see that after a single and an extra base hit back-to-back, that Kirby, says, hey, I'm going to challenge you, Garcia. It's 1-1. I'm trying to get out of this inning. Timeout called quickly by Garcia. He wants to take a deep breath. Pitch count up for George into the 90s now.
You're thinking about the same leverage here for Kirby. This might be his final inning from where he is at pitch number 91, what to deliver 92. Pitch clock down to 5. Big swing and a miss just outside the zone. He gets a piece of it, actually, 1-2 on the fastball. Pitch number 92.
Yeah, so 1 strike away here from getting out of the biggest jam of the game so far for George Kirby. Again, 2 down. No runners across, but 2 are in scoring position at second and third in Garcia and Seager. 1-2 to count, John. Take it away.
Up high toward his dome, had to spin Garcia away. Got Semien and Seager at second and third. Texas hasn't scored just yet, as Cooper just mentioned, as Wilson looks on here. Seattle trying to get this first blood in this 4-game series. Big leverage at bat, 2-2 count. And this will be golf shotted. Julio Rodriguez camps underneath it, makes the catch. The runners are stranded, and the Mariners keep the 3-0 lead.
Big time, John, big time. And that's Dan Wilson tapping the top of the dugout, that railing. He's clapping for his starter, and we got some fans up on their feet, rightfully so. That's going to be it for Kirby as he's checked by one of the umpires. So as he neared the 100-pitch count, he took a deep breath, settled in with 2 runners in scoring position, and stared down one of the biggest threats, if not the biggest threat. The Rangers line up, got the job done. Still 3-0 Seattle.
Hey, Coop, real quick. Someone just posted a little trivia. Cole Young is the second Mariner to hit a ball 470 feet at T-Mobile Park. Do you know who the other one is?
Okay, I have a guess, and this might be too obvious, but my first guess there are a lot of candidates, but my first guess is Kyle Seager.
I was going to say in the StatCast era, it is not Kyle Seager. Actually, this name is one that I don't think you would have ever guessed because his time with the team is kind of forgotten. 2018, Mike Zunino.
Oh, I'm a big Mikey Z fan. I've always loved Mike Zunino as a Mariner. I know he struck out a ton, but that's a name I should have remembered. So I love that tribute. Yeah, I would have guessed Kyle Seager. He pulling off the windows out there. What used to be a restaurant in right field, but I love Mikey Z for sure.
Fun fact: the other two longest home runs are both the same distance. So Zunino and Young both 470. The other one's hit by Luke Raley and Nelson Cruz, both 459.
Wow, that's even more impressive for Zunino, who was, when he made contact, basically a straight power hitter. It's not like he was poking singles. And you got a guy like Cole Young in the 9-hole, absolutely rocking a pitch into the second deck in right field. That's all the more impressive. So all the credit to him. Man, this is impressive stuff for the youngster.
You want to take bottom 6, Cooper?
I will do it as we see Polanco turn away from a 77-mile-per-hour curveball low and inside. That was actually there at the bottom of the zone. So no balls and 1 strike to Polanco. It was 0 for 1 tonight. Lat's in the game now after taking over for Rocker in the previous inning. And there's a fastball that's low and just off the dirt. So the count even, John, at 1-1 here at the bottom of the 6th, 3-0 Mariners.
I like the way this game has been played now. I know there was a little bit damage against Rocker, but I think the pitching's been good for the most part. You see the power that you wanted to see. Honestly, if you're a Mariners fan so far, you could hit the checkmark boxes and all the things that you wanted to see so far in this game.
Yeah, you got it. Polanco, you can't call it eye black. He's got the eye blue. He's going color coordinated with his reflection dampening there on his cheekbones as he takes a look at ball 3. So Kirby gets some love from Logan Gilbert. And you can see Kirby with a towel around his neck in the dugout. That'll be it for him. And boy, big credit as he gets some more fist bumps. Got out of a huge jam of runners in second and third. Still no runs for the Rangers, but the Mariners are at bat. They won't get a run from this at bat from Polanco. Excuse me, I thought that was strike 3, but man, John, I'm all over the place. I'm just too excited about Cole Young and his 470-foot home run, I guess.
Well, absolutely. It's been a lot to be excited about so far. Just happy to have you.
Yeah, no question about it. There's Eugenio and Julio talking in the dugout. 3-2 pitch is in the dirt. That is a nice at-bat for Polanco to start this bottom of the 6th. The lead-off runner is aboard via base on balls, Sean.
And I know I said this earlier for George Kirby. Just want to punch this one more time. 5-5, 4.50 ERA, 115 WHIP. We didn't see anything like that today. He looked electric. And again, we already talked about how good the starting staff is for the Seattle Mariners. You see more of that from George Kirby, and the Mariners will be in a good spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the one hit through 5+ innings, and there's a beautiful curveball that just drops into the zone by Latz, the big lefty. That's Canzone taking a look at it. He had a single in the 4th, and he was up to the plate when the wild pitch came across, and that brought Suarez home to start scoring for the Mariners. 0-1 to Canzone, and that slider is just low and away. Count even 1-1.
John Canzone does not look the least bit bothered. He's been enjoying himself in right field. He's had a good season. He's waiting on the 1-1 pitch.
You got it. Waggling that bat above the helmet, standing in on the left side. Latz takes his time. Now fires. There's the 4-seamer. That's low and away. So same spot, 2 different pitches in a row. It's 2-1 now.
I'm guessing for the amount of camera shots that Logan Gilbert's got, he's tomorrow's starter.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And to be honest, I'm not exactly sure if that's customary for all teams, but the Mariners usually will have tomorrow's starter in the dugout. Big swing over the top of the breaking ball. Boy, that's, John, the same spot, 3 pitches in a row.
Yeah.
Canzone probably looking fastball there, gave it a chance.
You could see why Latz's ERA is underneath 3. He's been able to locate those knuckle curves.
Yes, and the 2-2 count with a runner on first is right there for strike 3 called, and the steal is safe called at second. So Polanco gets in there underneath the tag, and it is 1 away as Canzone gets the backwards K, looking at that fastball for strike 3.
I like that there for Dan Wilson, though. Again, they couldn't execute the hit and run there, but at least you stay out of a double play and good wheels there for Polanco.
Yep, and John, we just got a quick shot of the Mariners closer. He's got a resistance band out there. Looks like he's warming up that shoulder joint, warming up the moneymaker. So we might see him very soon as JP stands in. And boy, Latz with those left-handed hitters loves to go low and away. He does so too much there. 1-0 to Mariners shortstop JP Crawford.
And you mentioned that just gets us excited to see him throw over 100-mile-an-hour fastballs.
No question. It never gets boring. Triple digits, always exciting, regardless of the team. And the 1-0 pitch, Crawford couldn't hold back on the check swing, and it is now 1-1.
So JP, again, he's been from the top of the order, bottom of the order, ever since he's been in through the Mariners. Whatever they need, he provides a consistent shortstop and play. I'd like to see this lineup get extended and have JP down there and do some damage, because alongside that with Canzone and Young, that's not too bad for 7-8-9.
Yeah, and in this season with runners in scoring position, JP hitting .313, 34 runs batted in. That's a real deal. There is a shot into right. Will that bring in run number 4? Polanco's turning. The throw home is bouncing away from Yoshioka, and that is 4 now for the Mariners. JP adds to that runners in scoring position average, make it 35 of the scoring position. That is beautiful stuff, JP Crawford.
Yes, it is. Again, set up there from the stolen base for Polanco, where a single at least able to get you to score a run, and Polanco was off immediately from the pitch. He read it beautifully. Good base running.
Yeah, you had it called there, John. You said you liked that from Dan Wilson. You liked a little aggressiveness on face pass, and guess what? It paid off immediately. There's Polanco who's leaping around that throw to home plate. Luckily, it bounced away. There may have been a play there, a little Jeter-esque. That could have been a tag on behind if Polanco doesn't get away from that bouncing ball.
We'll see what Cole Young could do now in an 0-1 count with a runner already in.
Cole, again, worth mentioning as many times as we can as he looks at that breaking pitch, just nicking the black on the outside part of the plate. 0-2, Cole with that 470-foot blast. We talked about fireworks show. We got it from an unlikely source, Cole Young. He stands in on the left side, 0-2 count, 1 away. Double play is in order here with the runner on first, and the fastball is low. What Latz, John, I can't help but keep hitting this button. Latz loves to keep the ball low and away to those left-handed batters.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, Cooper, because I'm picking up on the same thing, and you know the hitters are picking up on that too.
Sorry, John, I'm still on mute. There's 4 singles for the Mariners, and there's a swing and a miss at that fastball. I know to get a piece of it. Cole does get a piece of that to flex back. This is another one. I guess it's just a high-danger job, isn't it, John? That home plate umpire has been contacted by a few fouls tonight.
Yeah, they're going to need to be able to make sure they buy him some dinner, give him some extra ice packs. This is the 3rd time today.
Yeah, and just to wrap up what I was saying earlier, 4 singles for the Mariners, a double, and 2 home runs, one of them by this young man. 1-2 the count, runner on at first, 1 away, and there's a breaking pitch laced into right. That could make it to the wall, John. Yes, it will. Garcia's going to chase it down. Crawford loses his helmet. He's turning his third to throw back in. Crawford will score, standing, sliding in with a triple.
Yes.
Cole Young, is he out? No. He holds the bag, and he's safe with a 3-bagger. You've got to be kidding me. Fantastic from the 22-year-old.
I love this, and I love this for you too, Cooper, that we get a chance to see the Mariners score a ton of runs at home, which is not something that they normally do in a big series like this. Again, JP Crawford comes up big previously. Cole steps up again. How does he answer that cannon? How about a triple right towards center field? It's going to take Garcia has to go all the way over. JP Crawford lost his helmet going over from second base. And the slide, it looked like Young might not have enough distance, just gets his hand in there before Smith could get the tag down.
Yes, and boy, you got to give Crawford, the wily veteran, a ton of credit. He has been around in the big leagues for a long time, been on this Mariners club for a long time. We talked about Kyle Seager tonight. I was there for Kyle Seager's last game. JP Crawford has seen a ton of players come and go. He's seen retirements. He was around when King Felix threw his last ball game for the Mariners. He's still there, racing around these bases, cruising in for the Mariners' 5th run, and he's driven in by Young, who has his first home run at T-Mobile Park and now has his first triple at T-Mobile Park. This is incredible.
And as And with that, I will say, Bob Nightingale, stay off your phone.
Absolutely. Cole Young, I don't think he'll be going anywhere. He's going to be a Mariner lifer from what we're seeing today.
Boy, I think Mariners fans, after what he's done tonight, are going to want to give him another Julio contract. Look at Crawford. He doesn't look too long in the tooth, but he's getting a little fan from one of the staff members there in the dugout. He deserves it. He came all the way in from first. Rosarena with the infield in, chops one over to Seager. So that's why you bring those infielders closer to the interior grass. That prevents the runner from scoring, and the ground out makes it 2 down for the M's now, with Cole still 90 feet away from making it 6-0 in the 6th.
It's always fun to watch the boys have fun, isn't it, Cooper? I mean, J.P. Crawford, make that happen for him to get fanned off by his teammates. That's camaraderie.
I mean, you know what? The vibes are high at T-Mobile Park. And on one dugout only, I will say, there's Cal Raleigh. Boy, that was a fastball center cut. He got underneath that one. Could have been 7-0 if he would have deposited that one beyond the fence. And you can see a little grimace there. I think Cal would have liked to get more of that pitch.
And you think about it, the scoreline continues, and they won't need Munoz's services as Cal gets set to dig back in.
Yep, still some baseball to play here as Cal Raleigh tries to hold up the check swing on the curveball. Cannot do it as he now is batting from the right side. Technically his less powerful side, but he still has tons and tons of pop swinging as a righty. 0-2 the count to the Mariners' all-star catcher.
He does a little bit of everything. Again, he's pretty much the everyday catcher, barely gets a break. We'll see what happens now with the re-addition of Suarez, whether he'll get some more DH days at some point. Again, Mitch Garver is the backup.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mitch Garver, former Ranger, and there is a high fastball that is fouled up and behind home plate, probably up toward the media boxes. Gotta love the customization of the gear for all these guys. Of course, they're the pros, they're the big leaguers. They get what they want. So that elbow guard, what does that read there? What's that say on that last shot? It says BIGDUMPER, big dumper. Love it.
As it should. When you're doing all the stuff that he can, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, that's you know what? Not just an all-time season for Raleigh, but an all-time nickname. And that's going to stay with him forever. 0-2 pitch, and that's way outside with the sinker, 86 miles per hour. So the first ball to Cal makes it 1-2.
I know it's pretty cool during the Derby when he was able to win the whole thing. Goes to his teammates and say, "Hey, which side do you want me to hit from?"
Yeah, you're doing something right when you win a Derby. And there's a pitch that bounces off of the catcher's mitt. Streaking in is Young. They can't make the play at the plate. 6-0. That may be a pass ball, but either way, Young is having a day, and so are the Mariners. 6-hit, unreal.
Yeah, this kid's having one heck of a ball game. I mean, that's underselling it for me. But again, you get the quick read. Agashiaka, no chance as it goes off the top side of his glove, and then he bounces it to home plate. No chance for the Texas arm to even make a play on it.
Yeah, and you got to give it to Lats. He tried to do what was necessary, closing down there from the rubber, trying to get the home plate to put a tag on. Just couldn't make the connection. Ball bounces off the heel of his mitts, and Young slides in safely. Now 2-2 to Cal. There's the pitch, and another one fouled back toward the broadcast teams.
I got to say this, honestly, for Cal Raleigh, we've seen a few plate appearances now. There's been a lot of high fastballs almost towards center cut. I mean, that's crazy to me. You want to live that dangerously.
Yeah, I guess you got to give Lats credit. He hasn't been burned for it yet, but, Cal's looking for the heater. 2-2, 2 down, couple runs in, and there's a shot right to third, hot corner for a reason. That ball is dealt with confidence and tossed across in time to end this inning. We're going to see a brand new Mariner. Ferguson will take the mound. The lefty who came over from the East Coast is going to take over as we get to the 7th after this break.
We really need to see some good things here. A little bit of length in that bullpen. You already got some more length in this lineup. And I know it well because I'll just say this honestly. I texted Cooper back and forth when he was having to go between Seattle and L.A., but I watched the Mariners absolutely bomb the Tigers. And now that they've added this into their lineup as well, I mean, that's kind of teeth-chattingly scary.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and we know this isn't going to be every day. That's just not what happens in baseball. But when you form a lineup like this, and you have this type of a result against a team that's battling for a playoff spot that you could argue is equal to your level of abilities, has a relatively close number or close to an equal number of power threats, batters who hit for average, a solid pitching staff, some bullpen as well. And this is what you're getting from a brand new lineup. Now, Suarez, of course, had spent some time with some of these guys before, so you see that camaraderie. But man, John, I don't care if you're Jerry Dipoto or
Right.
if you're a casual fan, a diehard fan, or just a fan of Major League Baseball, you look at this, and I agree with you. That's just my long-winded way of saying it. I think you nailed it, my friend. This is exactly what Mariners fans were hoping for, and maybe even more.
Yeah, because again, it comes down to it in September. And Cooper, I don't have this in front of me now, but I still imagine that you're going to have plenty more series left to go against the Houston Astros. And I know you could talk about a wild card spot just getting in, and if you could find a way just to get a few more wins here, try to get a bye going into the playoffs as a top 2 seed and stay away from everything else, I think that's certainly in the cards for the M's.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm just thinking about opposing teams facing this lineup now. Okay, so you're telling me you're going to start things out, and you're getting to, okay, now Cal, because of who's on the roster and who's in the lineup,
Right.
Your number two hitter. I understand the statistics around putting a batter in the number 2 hole, but now your number 2 hitter is the home run leader in Major League Baseball.
Right.
Then we're talking Julio. Now we're talking Naylor. If you get through those, then we're looking at Suarez. Then you go down the lineup, Polanco. Maybe you get to the number 9 hitters. You get Crawford, who can get a hit at any time, and you got Young, who's got 470-foot monster power, and he hits triples. This is wild. And here comes former Mariners Sam Haggerty. I'll get off my soapbox, John. I'll let you take this call as Ferguson is throwing his first pitches for the Mariners, and 1-1 is the count.
And I want to say, whether you gentlemen know this or not, in terms of the radio play-by-play man for the Tigers, has been very, very good for a long time, and Dan Dickerson. When I listened to him in that series when the Mariners again catapulted the Tigers, you got a lot of guys in Seattle that hit almost 100 and 130 points higher on the road. And especially when you get in the playoff game with the lineup as extended as they are and some elite bullpen arms that you can use, and hopefully we'll see what Ferguson adds to it now. Seattle's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, no doubt about it, John. There's the 1-2 pitch that's grounded right over to JP. He takes that chest high and seeds one over to Naylor. Makes the catch. That's a pretty routine bang-bang play. It's a 6-3 put-out for out number 1. And Ferguson gets his first out wearing blue and yellow for the Mariners.
Yeah, and Ferguson, as you said, was doing it against Sam Haggerty. So they took Evan Carter out of this ball game, and I'm assuming that the only reason is because it's 6-0, no injuries or anything else like that. Want to keep him fresh. As a knuckle curve catches the outside black. Pretty good pitch.
Yeah, and we see here Ferguson, who doesn't have, or I won't say doesn't have, but doesn't always lead with velocity. He's going to look for placement, and boy, did he place that one. 0-1 to Langford.
Yeah, if he can get around 94, 96 and mix in that, I would say that's more than good enough. Again, it still gives you a little bit of a deficit that you can use in between. Andres Munoz is more toward 102 and the like, so you have a little bit of mix of everything. But again, I think it was pretty good for Dipoto to go ahead and kind of make that mix, because you wanted to make sure absolutely that you brought in another lefty alongside Gabe Spire. I don't think you could just go along, if you were a serious team, to have just one lefty in your bullpen that you can rely on.
Yeah, and you know what Cal Raleigh just did, John? He did his best Sergei Bobrovsky impression right there. He had one bounced in. He trapped that puck, should I say, that baseball right between his right bicep and the ribs. Nice stop by Cal.
And Rosarena gets in. A little bit of a jump toward right field side, no problem, as Ferguson gets the first 2 out under 8 pitches.
And that's the first action for Rosarena in a little while. He hasn't had too many flyouts tonight. That one was not on the line, but came in with some velocity, so he probably took that initial step backwards and then got on his horse to make sure he had a clean play on the ball, makes the catch, and now there are 2 down here for the Rangers.
I will say this, if we get a chance, I think at some point we probably will, Cooper, to catch a game together, because you've been there, but I haven't been at T-Mobile Park yet. I have to make sure I get my Cal Raleigh jersey before I go.
Well, you know what? You're going to have a collection of Seattle franchises apparel pretty soon. So make room in your closet, my friend.
I still got to get Nazem. Is this one toward the right side? Another catch there for a Rosarena. We just talked about that. Gives the fan a souvenir. Easy 7th for Ferguson. That's what you like. 10 pitches. He does the job.
That's exactly what you want. And it's time for the 7th inning stretch as the sun sets there in a cotton candy sky in Seattle with the downtown skyline off in the distance. John, I have seen that vista many times at T-Mobile Park, and I know I'm biased, but it actually is it's a great setting, easy park to get around in. You really don't have a bad vantage point from anywhere you choose to sit. So if we make our way there, I think we'll have a great time.
I was going to say, the only views that I got, and those were breathtaking anyway, when you take the elevator all the way up top from the Space Needle, I got to see a little bit of everything during the Seattle landscape.
Yeah, if you're high enough in the Space Needle and you peek out, if you're looking south down toward the stadiums, toward Lumen Field where the Seahawks play, which is literally across the street from T-Mobile Park, which is another block south, you might be able to see into the stadium. You might have to get some binoculars out, but it's a pretty dang good view from one of the most, if not the most famous landmarks on the West Coast, the Space Needle.
Yes, it is. And I do want to talk about this really quick selfishly because the Tigers will be playing this team on Sunday Night Baseball. But another one of those Minnesota Twins, Johan Duran, flamethrowing arm. Again, Eduardo Tate, Mick Abel, big catcher, and pretty much starter arms, Mick Abel, in the future. So Dave Dombrowski pulls the trigger. Again, a GM that I know and love all the way from the times from the Tigers on the side too. So see him on Sunday night when the Tigers end up playing them as the Phillies at big. Again, Ian already mentioned David Bednar. As you talk about that across, Ryan Helsley goes to the Mets. I saw there was another big name, Cedric Mullins, also goes to the Mets as the Orioles. I don't know what happened with them in their season. That fell off the rails like the Nashville Predators did, but they sold a lot.
Yeah, the Orioles, things have turned a corner and not in a great way. You felt a real optimism. And, listen, they're out in Baltimore, but, hey, they're still an AL team.
Mm-hmm.
You and I both follow AL teams. I'm paying attention to what the Orioles are doing out there. And there was a lot of optimism just a couple seasons ago, a lot of young talent, as now Bushley is in for the Rangers on the hill with a 96 mile per hour fastball to Rodriguez. But, boy, things are not looking great for the Orioles now, huh?
No, and again, they still have a lot of prospects and everything else that are good. So I think their long-term future is fine. You would say that a lot for, like the Seattle Kraken and some of those other teams to use that comparison. But when you have the expectations to be a team that would probably win a couple rounds in the postseason, and you're not even close to making it, that really is a harsh reality.
Yeah, and correction on my end, I think that we had a little misread on the score chyron there. It's Corbello who's in for the Rangers as this 7th inning reliever. 7th inning stretch is done. Rodriguez 1-2 counts. Looks at strike 3. It has been a rough ball game for the Mariners center fielder at the plate, John.
Let me ask you this, and again, I know you're going to take this hopefully in a win, knock on wood and all of that too, but as this lineup is constructed, I see Julio batting in the 3 spot. Where ideally would you like to have him?
You know what? That is a great question, and you and I might need more time than we have right now because, listen, we know that those top 2 spots especially, right, your leadoff hitter and then Cal Raleigh, who's in the 2 spot, they statistically are going to get more at-bats, right? So that makes sense. I think Julio in the 3 spot, because of his speed, is probably where I keep him. I don't think with the way he's performed at the plate, as Naylor looks at a 97 mile per hour fastball strike 1, I don't think there's really anywhere better to put him, and I don't think you want to make him feel dejected, John, and shake his mental fortitude and put him deeper in the lineup. So there are questions there, though, especially if he can't find his form.
Well, I thank you for the honest thoughts. I just wanted to have a conversation. I'm glad we did. So Curvelo actually making his major league debut. I did not have him in my notes when I looked at the 40-man roster yesterday because he wasn't listed. But again, this is the trade deadline. So we had a lot of moves that were moved up. So he's getting an opportunity here, whether it's mop-up duty or not. He wants to impress.
Yeah, and he certainly is so far. And I know that Julio's having a bit of a rough night tonight, but Curvelo's finding his spots, and he definitely has a heck of an arm. He's reached 97 here, and it's already 0-2 to the Mariners cleanup man, Josh Naylor.
This one way up high. Go ahead.
Sorry, John, there's another 97, but that almost got all the way to the bricks and the backstop there. Nice catch by our catcher behind the plate. On deck, Eugenio Suarez. He's had quite a return for the Mariners, Sean, but I'll let you take it away here. 1-2 to Josh Naylor.
So once I finish up with Josh here, I'm going to throw it back over to you here for Geno. Let's keep that fair as far as the debut. You and I have been bouncing back and forth. I appreciate you keeping everything lively and fun. I know we had Ian in here. We broke down some deadline stuff. You and I are just having a good time. Honestly, I wasn't sure we were going to have a two-man booth today, but I'm glad we did.
Hey, you set up the space, and I couldn't resist. I had a little time, and boy, am I glad that we got into this one. Carmelo celebrating back-to-back strikeouts. He got the punch out on Naylor, and he's flexing that chest, John.
I don't blame him on the last couple because, again, you look at it, it's Julio Rodriguez and Josh Naylor. These are not small names, and you're making your debut. I like him having a little bit of body language celebration. He should.
Yeah, you know what he's showing? I think he wants to show his coaching staff, I'm ready, I'm here, keep me here. I just struck out Julio Rodriguez, and I struck out Naylor. There's a weak grounder to third by Geno. I'm not sure he's going to have the speed to leg it out, and he will not. So the throw across to first is in time, and it's 3 up, 3 down for the Mariners. Carmelo feeling good about himself, even though his team's down 6-0. Mariners are up and down quickly here. It'll be the Rangers coming up after this break.
So there was one trade, Cooper, that I did want to talk about and get to if I can scroll here through this long enough, but there was a big arm, and I know that you know him here from the AL West, and Mason Miller. He goes from the Athletics to the Padres. Padres gave up some of their best prospects, a couple other laundry lists, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know all the young names going across the board because MLB The Show does a ton of projections, but Mason Miller can top at about 102, 103. That's a gigantic get for the Padres.
Yeah, and I think you know this as well as I do, John, that the Padres, with the talent that they have and the various versions of their roster over the past few years, they've just been around it a little bit. And let's make an NHL comparison. There's a feeling that the Padres, in some ways, have been kind of like Major League Baseball's Minnesota Wild. Right?
Sure.
They always have a good stretch in the regular season where they win a number of games in a row. They're in competition to win their division. They play other very talented teams very well. They have a lot of players that can make major offensive impact. But when it comes to playoff time, they just kind of get short-circuited for one reason or another. And adding that kind of arm could technically make a difference in a pretty significant way.
Yeah, because you already got Jason Adam, Robert Suarez, who are all-stars. You still have that lineup there and alongside for Fernando Tatis Jr. and Manny Machado. There's a lot of expectations. You know what, Cooper, I really like that Minnesota Wild comparison that you have because when you think about Kirill Kaprizov, talk about him a lot. You and I can say the word superstar, and we agree that he is, but when you have a guy that's that good, fans expect you to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, there's no two ways around it, and I think that the Padres may, we talked about turning the corner the wrong way for the Orioles. I'm not going to make any outright predictions, but the Padres are a National League team that I'm going to continue to watch, and they could be a real threat when it comes to postseason.
So I'll take a little bit of this eighth here. I'll make sure you get a chance to close the ninth as we keep both of our voices fresh here. Trent Thornton, ERA at 4.87. He's played about 40 and 2/3 innings, 30 strikeouts, 14 walks. Is Artie Tellez right in the shift. Josh Naylor, no problem, steps on the bag.
Yeah, that's what you want here as the Mariners are into their bullpen with Thornton. The bespectacled Thornton, right? He's your brethren, John. He's rocking some cement.
I like that, though. He's got a good arm as well. I like what he's got. Again, sometimes when you get in the Mariners bullpen, I'm not saying anything mean to Cooper because I've been through this way with the Tigers. You kind of, bite at your nails a little bit if the game goes into extra innings or things like that. Thankfully, everything's been free and easy today, but you want to see, again, as I said, 6-0 or not, you want to see your bullpen arms have some clean innings.
Yeah, there's a nice slur. That's a pitch we haven't called tonight, but 80 miles per hour, dead center as it hits the zone, and Higashioka fooled there, 0-1. And then coming back with heat, John, 96 mile per hour four-seamer. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Credit Thornton there, but I also credit Big Dumper Cal Raleigh with the pitch sequencing. That's perfect. His 86, this is off the end of the bat. No problem there for Cole Young. Boy, oh boy, give him a baseball and frame it.
Yeah, he's got to save the jersey from tonight or a baseball something, because he has had a beyond a fantastic performance. He's got a 470-foot home run, a triple. Now he's making plays out in the field. There's a shot of Jerry Dipoto wearing his Mariners blue. He must feel he doesn't look ecstatic up there because he's thinking business. But this performance has been ideal for the Mariners tonight.
I was going to say, he looks about as old as you and I. I'm jealous.
I know. I don't think he's much older than us, Sean. It's Suarez.
Man, oh
has
man.
a major league bubble there with the bubble gum, and he's standing at third. It's 0-1 to Smith now, the number 1 hitter for the Rangers.
Well, you know what? I give him complete full marks because, again, I talk about it from my own team and some of these others. It does take mass you-know-what to make moves like that, especially in a division like this. The AL West is very competitive. That is a dot from Thornton. See you later.
Oh, my goodness. Ring him up. That's 1, 2, 3. Thornton says good night to the 8th inning. And the Mariners holding this shutout victory here. They just got to get through their at-bats and then put away the Rangers in the top of the ninth. So we're getting closer to the end of this ball game. Boy, it's been a great night if you're a Mariners fan, John.
How many times have you been able to say that out of your mouth?
It's always fewer than I would hope.
Yeah.
Right? It's the life of that's sort of the plight of a Seattle fan. But you know what? On a night like tonight, you just got to smile. You got to enjoy the fact that you can see that Naylor is enjoying. You know, Naylor always has that serious look on his face. When he's willing to state publicly, I feel good, basically stopping just short of saying, thank you for getting one of my favorite teammates. Thank you for bringing Geno Suarez back here. I loved him in Arizona. I know you loved him here in Seattle. It feels like Suarez, not just because of his performance, John. There's some kind of glue that we talk about hockey rooms all the time. We talk about the Panthers. Something special about the room. It feels like this lineup for the Mariners, there might be something special here.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And as I said back from the previous point before that beautiful pitch from Thornton, there's a lot of pressure to go out and make some moves, but then to make the right moves, make the moves that make a difference. And over the last few years, we talk about it in the mix of Bradshaw living and now Dipoto on the side for the Mariners. He's not afraid to go after the big names and make moves and try to shake things up, and I respect that.
Yeah, I mean, again, we just talk about what opponents are looking at now. You're telling me you got to get Randy Arozarena out to 20-25 seasons in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Julio on a good day could have multiple home runs, multiple extra base hits. You got a bottom of the lineup that now includes a young hitter that is hitting game-winning singles and massive home runs. You've got a heart of the lineup that includes 2 of the most decorated home run hitters of the season, including the leader in home runs in all of the majors. I mean, it just boggles the mind as Polanco stands in. Another hitter, number 6 hitter. You know what? He's not going to strike as much fear as the others, but he can do damage as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, he did well in this game. 2 walks, a run, and a stolen base. And Curvelo now working on an 8th inning, and why not? He was excellent in the 7th as Wyatt Langford comes all the way over and between a massive humanity makes the catch.
Yeah, the left fielder, center fielder, and that shortstop all tracking back into that Bermuda Triangle in left center, and it's caught. So that will bring up Canzone after the flyout, and he is 1 for 3 with that single. And again, most notable for extending that at bat and allowing the wild pitch to take place, which started scoring for the Mariners. Suarez coming across.
Absolutely. Bottom order 7, 8, 9 has done a lot of damage for the Mariners. And another one for Canzone. I was just going to say this, Cooper. I think it's the job of 7 of 8 of Canzone or Crawford to get another at bat for Young, but Canzone does the job again with another solid single.
Yeah, Canzone having a heck of a night for himself. That's a couple of base knocks and the first hit against Curvelo. So you'd love to see it. This just goes to what we're saying. If Canzone is on, and then you bring up J.P. Crawford, probably the most solid veteran on this team, and then you get Young. Crawford again, 1 for 3 tonight. We'll see what he can do here. First pitch to him.
And I know Cooper's been talking about this throughout the broadcast, and I've kind of punched the same button too. This mix of what we have now between righty-lefties, you got a couple switching there as well, have some speed and power dynamic. And that's what Dan Wilson's kind of leveraging throughout this lineup. And they look good. And that mix is what can make things scary. And again, you know what? You make those moves alongside for Dipoto and say, hey, I believe in you boys in the locker room. Go out and go do it. I'm going to make sure I add the horses so you guys have what you need. and you bring it right into a critical series like this in a big homestand for a lot of things to feel good about. 1-1 was dead center cut, but Curvelo gets a swing and miss on a fastball.
Yeah, a couple of nice pitches in a row. One missed the zone, a little cut fastball that trailed away, and that was a four-seamer dead center, as you said. Crawford, big swing and a miss. If he gets a hold of one, he does have enough power to send it into the seats. And Mariners wouldn't turn down some more scoring here, would they, John?
No, absolutely not. Again, sometimes they would say save it for the next game, but I do have a pretty good feeling in between this pitching staff that we've talked about. Make no mistake about it, on the other side, you might see Eovaldi and DeGrom too. So there might be some games where there might not be a lot of runs scored.
Yeah, might as well get him when you can. And a home run here would make it 8-0 with Canzone standing first. Couple of great takes in a row by Crawford, and he gets that count to full. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
So I know Wilson, when the game was a little bit closer, was able to get Polanco on the move to stay out of any sort of double play. What do they want to do here? Swing and a miss. Crawford, that's a fastball down the middle, but Curvelo again gets that swing and miss. He's had a good outing.
Yeah, he's challenging these hitters, and he makes the 2-out hand signal himself. A little bit of swag from number 57 making his major league debut. And he's a big boy as well.
Yeah.
He's got that big frame. He can get to 96, 97. He just blew one by Crawford there.
And I love it. As I said, you better be confident regardless of the score. You're in the big leagues for a reason. If you feel confident and play good, that's exactly what you want. Cole Young. This one gets popped up. Gashioka trying to look underneath it. He leaves it off to the third base side. No problem for Smith. So that'll leave it off for me. Cooper's going to take control of the ninth. It's a 6-0 lead for the Mariners.
Yeah, even with the pop out, that is a heck of a presuming that we're not going to need extra innings here at 6-0. Great ball game at the plate for Cole Young. And just to give you the scores here, 6-0 the lead for the Mariners, 9 hits for the M's, no errors, 3 hits for the Rangers, and no errors for Texas. So, John, are we going to see the closer? I don't think so. It's
No.
6-0. You're going to want to let that man rest as much as possible. So we'll see who comes out to close this thing out for the Mariners once we get through our commercials.
Are we, I'm just throwing this out there, are we not so sure that they're just going to keep Thornton out there for 1 inning?
Well, that's actually a really good point. That's just me assuming that you might see another arm get a shot at it. But I like what Thornton provided. And if Dan Wilson, in this kind of situation, they're not leading by 14 runs or anything of the sort. But if Dan Wilson feels confident in Thornton in a sort of, not even a 1B, but just a backup closer role, if you will, then yeah, we might see him get a little extra time.
Yeah, because I just wanted to say to make sure for everybody to stay away from Matt Brash and Munoz.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that Brash and Munoz is going to probably get the night off here, given the fact that their team's gotten 6 runs across and 0 on the other side. So, I mean, John, this is exciting stuff for the Mariners fan base. And man, oh man, to have this kind of a result. I know I'm repeating myself a little bit, but it's just worth driving home. I'm not sure you could ask for a whole lot more. Maybe a better night to play for Julio, but boy, oh boy, when he's making web jam catches, sliding on his backside to get some outs and support George Kirby, you can't complain about that, can you?
No, I mean, the Mariners have done everything that we really wanted them. Again, for me, it's always run scoring, and I'm assuming it's the same for you. Again, tomorrow you got Logan Gilbert against Jack Leiter, and then Luis Castillo and Logan Evans. Logan Evans is the one guy, admittedly, Cooper, I'm not too familiar with.
Yeah, and Logan Evans was the starter at the game where I was with Jen and a high school friend of mine, his son, and he was very beyond serviceable. Had a nice solid outing. It was certainly not on his shoulders that the game went into extras. So I believe Evans actually went 6 2/3. Pretty solid baseball. I think only gave up 2 runs. So hopefully he can have a similar performance when it's his turn. And speaking of turn, you were right, Mr. Ott. We're getting a second go-around in the top of the 9th for Mr. Thornton, the reliever for the M's, who sees a 1-1 count here with Seager at the plate.
Yeah, so regardless of the score line, at least for Thornton, he's going to get to earn it against Seager, Semien, and Garcia.
Oh, and Thornton doing what Curvelo was just doing to J.P. Crawford and company. That's a 95-mile-per-hour fastball at the knees, swung on a miss by Seager. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Thornton, from the stretch, kicks the knee and fires. Breaking ball, gets to 84 miles per hour. That one dove out of the zone. Seager swings and misses, and he will take a seat one away.
Not too often I get to say this, but over the last couple of games for Corey Seager, struck out 4 times last night, twice tonight, 6 strikeouts in 2 games. Very unlike him.
That is true. You usually see him make contact. He certainly is a contact and an occasional power hitter. And there, speaking of contact, is a ground ball routine to Crawford, toss over to Naylor. Out number 2, that's Semien, 1 pitch, 1 swing, and a second out. So Thornton really efficient so far here in his outing.
Efficiency is the name of the game, as everybody pretty much at a sold-out T-Mobile Park has been in a frenzy. There's been a lot of reasons to be in there. Ferguson even able to have a good debut there, and alongside with Suarez.
So Thornton will face Garcia, the cleanup man. He's 0-for-3 tonight. There is a 96-mile-per-hour fastball that just misses. Garcia standing in with that bright green left arm sleeve, rocking the beard, and he's got the lime green shoes to match. 1 ball and no strikes, 2 out. 6-0 Mariners. 95-mile-per-hour fastball fouled up and away on the first base side. 1-1, John.
And this baseball game, Cooper, feels like it has absolutely flown by. Everything coming up Tridents.
Yeah, and you know what? There's cliches out there for a reason. I'm going to pull one down right now. Time flies when you're having fun, and this has been a fun one. As Garcia whiffs at that 96-mile-per-hour heat at the top of the zone. Mariners 1 strike away, my friend. So we're at the top of the ninth. T-Mobile Park as the sun sets. John Ott, Cooper Hopkins with you. It's been a good one. If you're rooting for the M's, let's see if Thornton can finish this out. The 1-2 pitch, just up and away. Another 96-mile-per-hour 2-seamer, and the count is even. 2-2, John.
Yeah, Garcia trying to battle him as much as he can. Doesn't want to go 4.
You got it. Yep, you always want to try to get at least 1 base knock. There's the 2-2 pitch. It was 95 low and away. Kyle Raleigh couldn't squeeze the glove around it. May have gotten the call had he made the catch, but the count is full.
And if Garcia does reach, he'd have to go up against his former teammate and Sam Haggerty.
It's true. You know, Haggerty with a little chip on his shoulder would love to keep things going for the Rangers, but he's on deck, watching on, as are we. 3-2 payoff pitch. Swung on, broken back.
Oh, boy.
Taken by Naylor. Oh, and Thornton falls. Oh, no, John. I see him reaching for his ankle.
Oh.
He's reaching for his ankle.
No.
Down and limping badly, John. Limping badly is Thornton as Garcia is safe at first. This is about the worst thing that you could hope for if you're a Mariners fan after it was all sunshine. Thornton down with some kind of ankle injury. He is on his back. It does not look good, sir.
No, it looks absolutely horrible for Trent Thornton. I think he might have got hit there with a piece of the bat that he sawed off from Garcia. He tried to make the play, could not, and then when you see him fall toward the mound on the right field side, he really did not want to put any weight on that leg. He could have definitely snapped something.
No, this is not good. He's getting a little bit of a consolation pat there from one of the trainers, and he is surrounded by Cal Raleigh, Suarez, Crawford. Let's take a look at this in slow motion. Broken bat, a cue shot from Garcia, and I don't see any shrapnel hitting him. That is Thornton taking a big step, trying to sprint. Naylor made the play all the way out toward the second base hole, and Thornton goes down, John. If I had to predict this may be a torn Achilles, which is an absolute scourge across professional sports right now. That is just speculation, but Thornton unable to put weight on his ankle.
Yeah, they're getting the cart.
Yeah, we have ourselves a disastrous finish for the Mariners with Thornton, who was taking care of business. He will be carted off the field, John. I did not see a roll of the ankle. I think Thornton knows something serious has happened here. A relatively rare sight on a baseball field. We're more accustomed to, whether or not we should be, seeing a cart on a football field. And this is Thornton being driven to the dugout. John, that is likely the season for Thornton. And Dan was talking to the Mariners trainer. Again, if we get another slow motion look at this one, it looked like an overextension as Thornton was trying to get his balance underneath him and sprint off the mound. I didn't see a pop, but we've seen enough torn Achilles to know that is at least in play, and that's a very sad sight for Mariners.
Yeah, I was going to say, Cooper, again, largely in track for a dominating victory and an incredible night in Seattle. And then that's just it's not a thud off the entire thing, but it's definitely a thud for an arm like Thornton and everything that he's brought throughout the year, because that's a big piece for Seattle. And as you said, for something like that, that's definitely going to end his year, it looks like.
Yeah, as he is driven out towards center field where there are some wider doors for the cart to make an exit, you saw him bend the knee, kind of bring that ankle in toward his hands, and we're going to see Legumina take over. He will try to finish this ball game, and that is an even tougher pill to swallow, John, because this wasn't the first batter of the top of the ninth. There were 2 outs. The count was 1-2, and Garcia just gets enough on a fastball at the outside part of the zone and puts it in play. I mean, so many other ways that could have gone, but that is the way it went, and that is a serious injury for a big piece of the Mariners bullpen.
Well, I feel like a total you-know-what, because I was the one that suggested that he was going to go out there for another inning of work. That is definitely my bad.
No, listen, hey, there are any number of things that can happen on any play, and I just feel bad for Thornton, who looked confident, playing a good Texas team, and had a fantastic inning in 2/3 and was about to close out what had been a fully celebratory baseball game for the Mariners. I mean, we're talking 100% celebration with almost no exception. And now there is a big asterisk, a big caveat in the celebration. Of course, he'll be happy for his teammates, Thornton will, but that is a bitter pill to swallow for Dan Wilson and the pitching staff for sure.
I was going to say, you and I are utter professionals. I think they happen to do a very good job. We've probably done, Cooper, handful, maybe a broadcast over up to maybe 100. And honestly, that was one of the most toughest moments I think you and I had to call.
Yeah, John, that's where your heart sinks.
Yeah.
And I certainly had that physical feeling as soon as we saw Thornton go down. And boy, I applaud him for trying to get back up. I think probably mentally in that moment, you almost don't let yourself believe that something serious may have happened. But it almost certainly did. I'm sure we'll find out more in the coming day or so. But we will see Legumina face the former Mariner Haggerty. And Legumina this season, John, 39 games, a 5.31 ERA in 40.2 innings. He's got 45 strikeouts to just 20 walks. And so it's righty-lefty, Haggerty on the left side, and there's a fastball that is up and away for ball 1 to the former M.
Yeah, hopefully just one batter here for Legumina. That'll be my first look at him as well. Be interested to see what he's got.
Yep, so 1 ball, no strikes, and Garcia on at first. That'll be 2-0 now as the 93-mile-per-hour two-seamer is just in toward the shins. So again, it's 6-0 Mariners. Incredible night offensively for the M's here at the top of the ninth. Haggerty with a ground out in the 7th. He's a 257 hitter, and Legumina is still trying to find the zone here. 92 miles per hour, up and away, outside. 3 balls and no strikes. Haggerty way ahead.
I would say even if you're Legumina now, just serve one. Try to find the zone.
Yeah, I might even pitch to contact here, and he does find the zone, but ever so close. That pitch, 93 miles per hour on the inside black. So 3 balls and a strike, and just to finish that thought, yeah, I'm pitching to contact here. Haggerty does have some pop, but he's a more diminutive hitter. Hopefully he gets something on the ground. 3-1 pitch is foul away, so it will be full here. Hopefully this next pitch will end at the ball game and the Mariners can regroup here. A little bit of celebration, but also, John, it just now feels like mostly concern for their teammate Thornton.
Absolutely, because he is a big piece as Sam Haggerty continues to fight away through. And again, we talk about the length of the bullpen for the Mariners and all their starters, but you lose somebody like him, and for how long you think you're going to, or it's going to make for some interesting call-ups possibly in September and the like.
Yeah, you're probably right, and credit to Legumina for delivering 3 balls to start what should be a short outing for him. Now it's 3-2. The payoff pitch one more time. Dots the zone on the black, and that is strike 3 called. Good night, Haggerty. Good night, Rangers. And hello, Geno Suarez. Welcome back to the Emerald City. It is a 6-0 victory, shutout win for the Mariners tonight, John. Big W for the M's.
I would say of all the broadcasts that we've done, it's not been a ton of the Mariners, as many as we've done with the Flames. This has been about as easy as you like. Again, all the buttons that you wanted punched as far as who you wanted to hit, who you wanted to do everything. You get Geno scoring on a wild pitch, getting a double. Cole Young He's the MVP of the ball game. An absolute shot of 470 and then a triple to mix it all in. I know you had the injury at the end for Thornton, but 6 runs on 9 hits, just 4 hits for the Rangers. Take them a game now away from the wild card spot. So tied, occupied no more. Mariners have that 3rd spot. Still got 3 more critical games in this series.
Yeah, and John, here we're taking a look at the AL standings. The Astros 62-47, still 4.5 games up on the Mariners, now 5.5 up in the division on the Rangers. But we keep an eye on those numbers, on those movements as fans, as broadcasters. You got to think these Mariners who are celebrating, and rightfully so tonight, after a complete victory against a division rival, you got to think they're just thinking, how many W's can we rack up as we turn the calendar page over to August tomorrow? It'll be August 1st. Basically 2 months left in this regular season. Just rack up as many wins as you can and let the rest take care of itself.
Yeah, this is a team, again, we're not trying to be hyperbolic. We're telling you all the way across the lineup. And I'll just say this honestly. I know Cooper, it's his team. I'm trying to look at this on the outside as well. But I look at this lineup. I look at some of the stuff you have in the bullpen and the mix for the starters that you already know that are good. They pretty much lead the American League when it comes to that portion. It's a dangerous Mariners team that could do extensive damage when they get in the postseason. I know that sounds crazy to say to some of the diehard Mariners fans, but I honestly believe it. This is a good team up and down that lineup. As Cooper said, if they can get things moving, keeping it going in the right direction, look out.
Yeah, and you know what, John? I mean, I'm still knocking on wood just because there have been too many seasons where the Mariners have quite literally missed the playoffs by 1 game. It's come down to the last game of the year. Hopefully that's not the case. But you know what feels really good here, in spite of the injury to Thornton, is the fact that not Geno, not Cal Rowley, Cole Young has been pulled for the post-game interview. A solo home run tied for the longest ever at T-Mobile Park into the second deck in right field. The 6th rookie in team history with a homer and a triple in the same game. He had 7 bases all by himself and a nice play out there in the infield. This young man could be a big and a very important piece for the Mariners this season and into the future. It's pretty exciting.
So my question before I let you go, a little bit of a joke, but I see those patches of the Nintendo Switch 2. Does every post-game recipient get a Nintendo Switch 2, or do they already have one?
Well, you know what? I can't tell if it's a chicken-egg argument here, John, because Cole Young is wearing number 2, and I wonder if that's because Nintendo asked him to wear that number. When you get free stuff, John, sometimes you got to make a sacrifice. So maybe Cole Young was influenced to take number 2, or maybe he's just trying to influence Nintendo to give him some free swag. But he's earned it. He gets to try it one more time, and that is a beautiful sight to see for a man who is 22. So lots of 2s everywhere. Mariners are going to go for win number 2 in this 4-game series against the Rangers tomorrow, when we will see Logan Gilbert take the mound for the home squad. This was a fun one, my friend. Yes,
it was. I'm so privileged to have you join me for this again. We had a lot of fun. Get a nice full ball game in. The Mariners win. No muss, no fuss. This is about as good as it gets. We had a good time today.
Thank you for having me, buddy. I know I didn't give you the heads up ahead of time. You're always flexible. You're always pro. And, man, you put a smile on my face. Even if the Mariners hadn't performed this way, it's a joy to do this stuff with you. Let's keep an eye on it. We'll get another one on the calendar soon.
Yeah, hopefully you get to do this in the playoffs. Maybe some M's and some Tigers, although I think that might go one way only. Again, it'll be a little bit later today, but 8 a.m. is the mailboat jumping on ESPN2, so I got to throw that out there again. DVR, make fun of me, do everything you want. It's all posted.
I can't wait. It's in my got my alarm set. It's in the calendar. So a lot of John off over the course of 24 hours, and I'll take it, man. This is great.
I had a lot of fun with this, Cooper. We'll talk soon, okay?
All right, bud. See you soon.
See you. And that was a very fun game across the board. Cooper Hopkins, thank you for joining me for that one. Mariners win. They win big, 6-0 against Texas. Guys, I really appreciate all of you. Hopefully get a chance to call some more baseball games again. Very privileged to have that happen and have Cooper join me again for his childhood team. That was a lot of fun. We'll talk soon, okay? Probably Sunday. I'm thinking about ESPN Sunday Night Baseball with the Phillies and the Tigers. Try to get that one going. Peace.